everybody, and welcome to some Super Smash Bros. Ultimate here on Esports U. I am Septilence, joined by Soy, and we are going into now Soy SSBU solos slash singles, something we don't see particularly often, so I'm pretty excited to be jumping into this.
Yeah, I'm really excited too. This should be a lot of fun. This singles bracket's going to be so entertaining, especially with a lot of the big names joining this year. It's going to be very, very entertaining. And, we're used to this crew battle format, but these single bracket best of fives, they're going to be so entertaining.
Yeah, this is going to be really exciting because you mentioned big names, and I think out the gate, we're actually starting with one of them. So we're starting with Danny from Utica, who is going up against the big name player Derpager from Stack, St. Thomas Aquinas College, a player that is very recognizable in the collegiate scene, not only just for being Derpager being very talented, but being talented with Villager nonetheless, something we see very, very rarely.
Yeah, Villager's a character that you don't see, break through in the major tournaments in SSBU all that frequently, but Derpager makes them work. And Derpager is a very strong player overall, very smart about how they approach every game. So we'll have to see how they approach this game and hit on screen for Dan.
Yeah, Pit coming out from Danny here could be a difficult matchup if Derpager can kind of play that long-distance zone-out game. Sure, Danny can find a pot shot here or there, but actually, Soy, something I had not considered was that Reflector from Pit. That could be lethal against a lot of Derpager's traditional playstyle.
Yeah, that down B is something to look for as this set goes on because it is a very committal move, but it will block out a lot of what the Derpager wants to do in this matchup because there's so many projectiles you have to worry about. But Derpager sets up the combo. Oh my mercy!
Wow!
Did you see the percent skyrocket the tree into the axe and goodbye stock number one?
I mean, there is just so few ways to react to something like that. The damage output there from Derpager, nearly unblockable. And the side special actually disrupts that clank as well, so Derpager does not find that early damage. Of course, that Lloyd into Slingshot, but the short hop forward aerial is a really clever play here from Danny to disrupt a lot of Derpager's continuously very floaty play style. The down air, that would take down a huge chunk of the roster, but Pit, one of the largest vertical recoveries in the game, gets right back up onto that stage, and it's keeping things close here, at least in terms of the percentile.
A huge early down air there, but Danny able to survive it for now and able to spot dodge around that down smash too. That down smash buries, and that's likely a stock. So much kill power in Villager's kit comes from those smash attacks. So if you end up right next to Villager, it's not where you want to be at all. The tree gets planted and nearly knocks Danny off the top of the stage, and all the turnaround with the axe. That's the down B. You can only use the axe while the tree is on stage, and that was a huge stock for Derpager to take.
Yeah, this is the scariest thing about the 1v1 solos, is if you go up against a player like Derpager, I mean, I'm not envious of your position at a time like that, because this is such a talented player, such a consistent one at that, and right now, I mean, we are just seeing proof in the pudding over that. Derpager looking for a 3 stock to open things up. Oh my goodness, the 4-second jab lock. Danny now 60% on their third and final stock of game number 1. Oh!
No tech either. Gets nared off stage, almost into the Lloyd Rocket. Should still be able to make it back, though. That recovery coming in clutch once again, but he is up against a brutal wall here. Holds that down B, and the nair stops the recovery again, and it's a 3-stop to kick off the day.
A 3-stock to kick things off from Derpager. We started a few minutes late here, but Derpager just bought us those few minutes back. We are right on schedule here on Esports U, and I mean, I've got to say, Derpager comes out that hot. Soy, it's tough, brother. I mean, all things considered, it is not a good spot to be in. But if you are this Pit, I mean, is the best step to change characters? It's not that Pit is bad, but it felt like Derpager was so in their element against that Pit. Is it better to try something new?
It might be, but I don't think the matchup is necessarily that bad. The problem is Derpager's just got such a solid game plan and mastery of their character right out of the gate. Derpager on this Villager is just such an awkward fight. You have to be very on point with your spacing, and you can't afford mistakes defensively because Derpager's punish game is so solid. Even, being so aggressive off stage with it, right? How long he was able to spend. You think of Pit's recovery as being nice and quick. Just up B right back to ledge, and there's not much you can do. But it's not a hitbox, but there's so much distance to cover with that. But still, Villager can kind of float there off stage. They've got these hitboxes like the Nair that they can just linger with. Ends up getting a stage spike at the end. It's just so difficult when you make defensive mistakes to try and come back against Derpager. So you have to start off stock number 1 very, very quickly. And that's tough to do when Derpinger plays a little bit more back, just uses those projectiles to get in on you, to pressure you on your shield. Pitt doesn't have a lot of quick options to sort of say, get off me outside of the multi-hit nair, but that requires a jump first. And Villager's options are often just faster, like the jab, like their own nair. So maybe you change the character, but I think you need a little bit different of a game plan to deal with that wall of projectiles that's going to move in on you.
And I think you bring up a great point there as well, Soy. There's something terrifying about Derpinger in particular, where most of their kind of shtick comes from punishing your errors, comes from letting you make that mistake and then utilizing the proper abilities and utilities to take that apart. So it makes it difficult in a circumstance like this to play perfectly, right? Very few people in the world can do that. And I think that's part of what we're seeing here is we're seeing a circumstance where Danny is playing correctly, is doing great for 5-10 seconds worth of play, and then you make one mistake and Derpinger just hits you with the tree axe combo. There goes your second stock. And I think that's really going to be something to keep an eye out on is maybe Danny plays this second one a little bit slower, gives themselves fewer opportunities to make said mistakes, and see if they can deconstruct Derpinger from the inside.
Yeah, it's going to be something to look for, and you kind of called it out too, because the game plan, it felt like, for Danny was to use something like that forward air, right? Pitt's got some reach, they got a disjoint, that's typically pretty good, and it is also really good at stuffing out projectiles as well. But in this case, the projectiles are just faster, they're harder to hit, they're really small arrows, and it stuffs out all the jumps that Danny has on this character. So they'll try and run it back here, this time on Town and City. A lot of space to work with, which should slow down the playstyle, which was what we were talking about.
Yeah, Town and City's got these utilizable platforms as well, but Derpinger really not going to use them, going for a strong center stage presence, looking for an early strike, finding 33%, but a couple of strong hits from Danny does equalize us in that percentile. The slingshot goes out the tree, but a bait, a triple slingshot now into tree, trying to read the iframes, and of course, you had one option to get back on stage, that roll in. Derpinger punishes it, 80% for Danny, 60% for Derpinger on the opposing side.
I do like what Danny's doing, though. Good snag there by Derpinger. They've now got a pit arrow in their kit. They'll hold on to it for now. But Danny is really trying to get up close. See all the grabs that they're getting. That's a good chunk of damage. And Villager is a light character. You can get kills very quickly out of this character if you rack up the percent. You just got to be a little bit more careful about how you approach it.
Very, very true. If you can get in fast enough, Villager does not weigh a whole lot, but it's the approach, as you mentioned, that has been difficult so far. The flank is going to be taken out by that side special. Perfect read on the shield, and it's Danny who's looking for that first blood. Derpinger somehow still alive at 110. The next hit from either could be the last. The flower pot goes out. We see Derpinger come with a slingshot once again. Certainly their favorite move across the board. The use of that slingshot so consistent over and over again. Pressure continues to build, and somebody's got to give way eventually. The valve has to break, and all that pressure has to come out. Triple slingshot takes Danny off stage. Oh my goodness. The nair takes you down, and all of a sudden, Danny losing that first stock.
Lingering hitboxes. These forward airs, back airs just continue to chip away at Danny, denying them any sort of access to an entryway to try and get an opening for themselves. And then the lingering nair edge guard is so clean. Side B's going to knock Derpinger off stage, but not enough to take the stock. There's the up smash, catching him on the platform for a little bit too long. So that's an answer back. Only 57%. Still workable, but look at that. Lloyd combo into the up air. That's a lot of good damage from Derpinger.
Yeah, I like what we're seeing from Danny. We're seeing a lot of changes here. Now, are they enough to beat a veterans player like Derpinger? Unfortunately, I don't think that's what we're going to be seeing, but I've got to say, the improvements are clear. They're critical. Almost taking a first stock first before Derpinger even got the opportunity shows that Danny wanted to go for this more calculated play style, but unfortunately, Derpinger, I mean, I can't remember the last time they missed an input ever. Okay, now they do it twice in a row, but now it's that instance of when they use a move, they know they're going to hit you with it, and that's so difficult to try and play around.
And right now, Danny's using a lot of these side Bs to try and recover, help stuff out these projectiles, and also is a good potential KO move as you see them knocked high by it on stage here. Derpinger, I think, is starting to recognize it. Look at the spacing. They're going underneath it now with that nair, and that's how they got the stock at the end of the last game. They got the stage spike off of it, so this nair doing so much work Again, continuing to knock Danny off stage, can't find a grab, roll behind, still not enough, forward tilt won't land either, and Danny looking for one more opening here to get them into the red. 84%, that's a good chunk of damage, but they can't afford to go off stage. Look at Derpager, they can also play the patient game. Look how long they can spend off stage for, and Danny is just kind of have to sit there. You gotta respect all these options.
Yeah, and that's such a dangerous game, too, to play that offstage presence because, okay, wow, so you run out of time eventually, but Derpager clearly not afraid of time as of right now. A second victory. There's 2 stocks remaining, now up 2-0 on the series as well. I mean, I would love to say, you know, this is a surprise, but this is just Derpager. This is just the consistency we expect from a player like this. I mean, they play such a niche, entertaining character, and it pays off in dividends seemingly every time.
And Derpager has such experience too, right? In the crew battle format, you are, you know, it's wave survival. You have to make every stock count. And so right out the gate, they are guns blazing. They are implementing their game plan and quickly changing anything that doesn't seem to work. And that's what Derpager is doing right now. Is, you know, you saw the little bit of adjustments that came through early. It was relatively close, right? 2 stocks apiece, 57%. And then Derpager just continued to hit, you know, slingshot after nair, just death by 1,000 cuts was the game plan, and that's what villagers thrive off of. And so once again, now the emphasis is on Danny to find a new adjustment. And again, it's not going to be easy. I think one of the things that they were doing really well was getting those grab combos, but I feel like they've got to get a little bit more out of it. You saw they would do things like forward throw into forward air, which is a good, I want to say 20 to 30% onto a villager. But the problem is then they would back away. There's not really a safe move that you can do to follow up off of that, but just being in their presence, in their face, especially after a throw, after a hit gets landed. Yes, villager has some fast combos, but if you can land that third hit, that's a good 30-40 damage you could do. And like we've been saying, villager can die very early. Look at how close those side Bs are coming to killing at roughly 80%.
Yeah, I think you bring up a phenomenal point here as well in regards to Villager, you know, has a couple of moves that can do a lot of damage. We're looking at the tree, the bowling ball, but overall, they are death of 1,000 cuts. They're very minimal moves with very minimal knockback traditionally as well. So it's this circumstance of play of, if you just avoided the bowling ball and tree, kind of make those the largest things to look at in your flowchart, taking those peppered hits don't matter as much if you're still dishing out some of your own. Something that I'm seeing a lot of from the side of Danny, something that I struggled with a lot when I was beginning to play a Death of 1,000 Cuts character. You know, I'm on the other side. I was playing Alamar very often. I was struggling to kind of recognize I don't need to be afraid of every single move. I need to be afraid of these kill moves against these Death by 1,000 Cuts characters. It's not like, you know, a villager's not going to kill you with a jab lock. Like, that's not something you're going to be seeing. There's some pretty telegraphed abilities to look out for. So Danny, I think just a bit of bravery and a bit of courage, just tanking a few more of those hits could be quite helpful in racking up enough damage to find those stocks. Because we've been very close in a couple, but we've only seen one found. So that little change could go a long way for Danny.
It is also kind of a tempered aggression that you have to go in with, because one of the things that you'll see, we saw this a couple times in the first 2 games, was that axe, right? He's got the tree planted in the corner, and you'll see he's exclusively used the axe twice now to try and call out the jumps, to try and call out the approaches. And that is a dangerous move. That kills earlier than almost anything in the kit. So you have to be very careful on those approaches, especially on the jump ins. That's why I think using a more grounded game plan, using those dash ins, Pit's dash, it's not the longest, but it's got some reach, and you get those grab combos on point. There's still a chance, there's still windows for you to work your way back into this game. The other thing that's going to be tricky is that edge guard. Now, Pit has all those jumps that they can, in theory, go out and try and edge guard villager, but look at the way Derpager is playing off stage. Such confidence, right? Lingering hitboxes of Nair, rising hitboxes, using the wall jump off of Town and City. That's a small corner to jump off of. And still, they're able to just say, yep, I've got the spacing. Let me throw out an extra hitbox here. So you can go threaten them off stage, but your spacing just has to be so on point to fight this character.
Yeah, spacing is the name of the game after all, and I'm actually a little bit curious on where... Oh, there they are! I was going to say where they may be in this moment, but looks like they were just getting ready and warmed up. Forest Pit on Villager once again. Now, this is the inverse of what we were discussing on or between maps 1 and 2, but now between 2 and 3, we said, Danny, play a little closer, get a little more aggressive, and the stage choice does reflect that pretty openly, I think. We're seeing going for small battlefield. It's a risk, but can Danny make that risk worth the reward, Soy? It's time to find out.
I like the pick here, right? You tried going for more space on Town and City.
Yep.
Now let's play the boxing match. Now let's get up close and personal. And if it doesn't work, well, then you can adjust from there and learn from this sequence. But now, 2 side Bs to get back to stage. They're already at 113. Good grab here. They get an up air off the back of it. They tried to track them down on the platform, but Derpinger retreated to center stage instead. Now they've got agency here off stage. Derpinger, 68% can kind of stall out here. And just immediately, Danny says, nope, not dealing with it. Backing away to center stage.
68% versus that 130 full rage pit on small battlefield, trying to play from above, and that's a good spot to be, I think, against Villager. They don't have a lot of abilities that take you straight up that aren't punishable if you play your cards right, but grab into back throw, the arrow gets eaten every time. You can see the muscle memory from Danny as that move continues to be played, and I don't think it's really been effective once. It's been eaten every time, but the iframes through the bowling ball, now the flower pot. 97, Danny's getting those chip shots in, and finally, we'll be able to take that first stock.
Yeah, I think Derpinger got a little greedy there. He will answer back with the up air. He got the wall jump into I believe he threw the arrow and a slingshot there, which kept him up high for so long, and that meant that the down smash would catch his landing, and that's how he dropped stock number 1. Luckily, he's able to answer right back with that up air, so back to basically a tie game. But Danny, right now, off stage, will use the get-up attack there, and that's something he tried to use earlier, but got caught out by the bowling ball. Derpinger has not had the time to do things like set up the tree or kind of set up the wall.
Right.
They've got center stage right now, but underneath that platform, Derbinger's continuing to chip away here. Danny's got to do something to help change up the pace.
Yeah, you've got to change the pace of play here one way or another, and Danny has been keeping it close, but unfortunately close is never going to cut it. You got to win with the remaining stock, no matter how many you take. They're just not worth it if you don't find that victory screen at the end of the day. Side special out, the recovery up. And something really clever that Derpinger does is very rarely will they hold the Villager recovery out in the open very long. They'll utilize it in terms of using it quickly to recover a little bit of missing space if they have to, or they'll use it to hang out underneath the stage, but overall, they don't leave themselves vulnerable out in the moment, because that's the truly most vulnerable spot a Villager can be in.
Yeah, when those balloons are out, everyone kind of sees red, but you can see he rarely ever uses it, and he uses it so close to the stage too, which means that even if he gets threatened, he's right next to the wall. He can instantly then tech it and go back to his recovery. There, a slingshot to the back will be able to take down that extra stock. The slingshot, one of those abilities that actually gets stronger the closer you are.
Yep.
And look at all the combos, reads the roll in as well. 62% off of that string.
62% against the 109, but Danny a full stock in the deficit here. Oh, Derpinger going for the style points up and around the stage, entering from the other side. A huge moment of play to get a little bit of a spacing change off of your opponent. Something that a lot of people can't do in this game is that recovery style we just saw from Derpinger. So utilizing it, taking stage presence back, faking the axe, goes out for one cut, dashes in for 2, air dodges forward. Danny finds the hit, 119 to 94. Unfortunately, I think our seconds are numbered here for Danny. Oh, yep, and there it is. What a beautiful use of the fireworks for the first time, nonetheless. So very much a mix-up that just reaps the rewards off the back of it.
Yeah, I think Danny kind of sensed that antsiness, right? They were like, okay, I'm down, I'm in the red percent, I need to do something to bring this back close. That side B it's so useful because it reflects all those projectiles and it's got that kill power. He's on the ground, why not pull the trigger on it? And Derpinger has the read to just stay calm, hold that shield long enough, and it's an easy up smash punish to help secure game number 3.
That up smash punish is the third and final game closer that we're going to be seeing. I believe 2 stocks left on the board for Derpinger, so a total score, not that this matters particularly, but 7 stocks remaining in total for Derpinger of only 9 available. That's pretty darn incredible. So, I mean, that is a player to keep an eye on through the rest of these solos as the season continues on.
Oh yeah, he's going to be a dangerous player for sure, because, I mean, how many people do you know play Villager? It's not a very common character.
And it's Derpinger.
and he's a master at it, too. He just knows where to be. All of the traps, all the setups, too, just the positioning he has is so solid, very hard to work around, and that experience that he's had here, I mean, with the crew battles, with playing at St. Thomas Aquinas, this is a veteran player that just, had a game plan and commanded this set.
Yeah, and maybe a veteran player that we'll get the chance to talk to. We're going to try and see if we can get an interview with them in just a couple of minutes, but the schedules continue on. It's a very busy day for just about everybody, so if not, we'll be back in just a few minutes either way. We'll see you then. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to some ECC SSBU. That's a whole lot of letters, and we had a whole lot of fun with it here today. I'm still Septilence, joined by Soy, and we're going to get the chance to talk to Derpager, a player from Stack, and one that, if you've ever watched Collegiate Smash, you're probably quite familiar with. So, Derpager, I mean, first of all, big congrats, brother. Impressive as always.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. So I did want to ask, maybe less about the matchup we saw today and more about just the chance to be playing singles, because I feel like in Collegiate we see a lot of crew battles and a lot of kind of 5v5s or 3v3s, but I feel like it's rare that we get the chance to see 1v1s. So do you feel like this is a unique opportunity that you're able to take advantage of? And also, is it nice to just have a place to beat people down and get better and better at Villager?
1v1s is like, it's like a different kind of pressure like crews and 1v1s, because
Sure.
like when you're doing with crews, you can't, like, every stock you lose is like matters, and that's
Right.
like really stressful. And of course that you're playing for a team, but like solo, when you lose, there's no one to blame but yourself. Not that I would like blame anyone else for like our
Right,
team's
no,
loss,
sure,
because
sure.
I'm part of the team. But yeah, 1v1s, they're always nice. It's what most Smash Brothers is, so it's nice to get a bit more, I guess, realistic, I guess you could say. I did
Sure.
1v1s my sophomore year. I don't know if it was this league, but junior year our coaches, our previous coach like left, and then like we were transitioning to a new coach, so like I couldn't get signed up for 1v1, so it's good to be back. Actually, it's fun to just chill, play some Smash, and do some gaming. What I'm here for.
Absolutely.
So it's, I believe this is week one for you of singles bracket, right? So I guess, and you're entering your senior year. So is there like a goal in mind for you this year, be it with the Stack program or just in this league in general? What are your goals for this season?
Well, I would obviously, I'd like to win the singles. I'm I haven't like looked up like too much on like the player, like all the other players. I remember in a crew battle of 3v3 one of the last semesters, was like, oh, I had to Sonics was the last person I had to play. I'm just like, okay, well that's a bit of an issue in order to win 3v3. But it's my last year. I'm just trying to have fun with it. I went to Rutgers. Our team went to Rutgers. Our team went to
Yeah.
Atlanta. So we're just trying to go out with a bang. It's kind of weird being like the veteran now, because Amp and like Zach, like they're not with us anymore. So it's just me, my bud Joe, who I've been playing Smash with since 7th grade, when we didn't know what any of the buttons did.
Wow.
So, and then like we're trying to. It's hard to get like new people recruited for like Smash, because you can't like tell how good someone is. There's no like elo system that you can
Right.
like post like your
Right.
like this is that. It's definitely a different environment. And most collegiate esports are like team shooters or like Rocket League or stuff like that. So like a solo thing, like a team event that's like basically a bunch of solo matches put together, it's a weird thing, but it's very fun, both crew battles and 1v1s. I'm just trying to have fun with it, see what I can, and if something goes horrendously wrong, then I guess I got to live that for the rest of my life.
Well, as long as you're having a good time. But hey, no mistakes today. A very clean victory. Big congrats to you, Derpager, and we're looking forward to seeing you again, man.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Of course, thank you. And with that, folks, we're going to go ahead and, believe it or not, wrap up ECC Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. But ECAC Rocket League is just around the corner. Buena Vista versus Old Dominion, brought to you by FBI Tugboat and iAtomic. Thank you all so much for watching. Check your posture, drink some water. Don't forget to love each other, and we'll see you guys next time. Enjoy some Rocket League.
instead. That's nice to see. So even though we haven't seen North Georgia really be able to march forward with a lot of convincing attacks, at least the back line up until now has been secure. Can't get the read on the bounce, and that's finally our first goal. 10 seconds to go for Kennesaw trying to close this one out.
Yeah, still with the pressure here from Kennesaw. Now only our second demo. This one from downtown, and that's going to be an own goal here at 3 seconds. We spoke a little too soon here, Danger Talk. Slavip, left side, little tap, not really taking away possession. Now definitely does. Spider going up, the double tap. Hugh Dog and North Georgia come from behind victory with the Puma symbol on the side.
As we have seen many time with new rosters in the beginning of the semester, this might be the first time these players are really playing together at all. So this is really setting the tone for how you guys all click together. Kwong trying to bury one here on the near post, and he does just that. Better. Might be able to pad those stats. Kwong throwing it right back in. That should be open, but it's just wide instead.
Almost gets the nose down onto it. A couple members fighting, twisting, and now an open net the other way going for North Georgia. Nobody's almost hitting payload. Now is Joel. A little soft hit right there. Kind of just puts it in the breadbasket of a couple North Georgia players. That's really, really bad as this one comes all the way down from the other side.
Being able to con the defense out of a clear that gets you the ultimate goal, as we will be able to enter into that 1-1. Maybe not for long as that clear gets away. Hugh Dog into Archie, and well worked from North Georgia. Safe to the side. They're feeling like heroes. They're keeping it up. Slavip into the ceiling. Sharky doesn't get it. Joel with a deflection. It's Quonk 0. Hugh Dog in the way. Another save. North Georgia will very much so take that ball hitting the grass. Overtime somehow.
Now coming up for the serve. Hugh Dog down. That's a bouncer just a little bit too high though as Sharky tries to continue the theme. Down bottom. And Archie does it here for North Georgia. Set up all day long. Now shoots in right now. The Quonk is going to win that 50. He's screaming off to the side. Bounce off some wall. And now in his middle until North Georgia gets another shot at it.
Let's be open for Hugh Dog, and they will make no mistake. Kwong, I gotta say, a great effort, but sometimes you need something even greater. You're seeing a player get thrown all the way across, like Joel's really just flailing, and you're thinking, okay, well, I probably have enough time to go to the corner, and then instead, it is in your net, something they're becoming quite familiar with as a feeling. There's number.
Demo does come through. Those Hugh Dog taking down a Kennesaw State member. Back to the middle, screaming up to this one, now to the left side. All three members right here. This is a very bottled up defense, and Sharky takes a bite.
No one even there because, frankly, I think Kennesaw thought that bounce was going to be going a different direction. Same, maybe, with the defense here for UNG. They can't read it. Slavip does. It's 1-1. They were actually on the far side, waiting for an awkward touch, and then dove in and actually used their flip angle to throw it right back in the middle. Of course, I'm talking about them, and meanwhile, it's just Swiss cheese for Kennesaw. They're getting sliced through by the blade that is the UNG attack. How about Joel trying to show them how it's done? It's a little bit too soft, a little bit of a double commit even. Quonk near post, that's a miss. Slavip, that's a miss. Joel, that's a miss. Everybody swinging at it. Get these people some corrective lenses because it's Sharky on the far side with the clear vision from the teammate. My goodness, my heart.
And there's really no need for them to. There's only one way that they can come in. This is perfect execution, and with all 5 members left up standing, they only have one opportunity to get in there. Raga, 3 kills on the board, make that 4! Raga on fire already in a flawless first round here. Raga. As much as I respect this B wall being put here, the problem becomes is that they have the weapons to really mess things up. Oh, Ossify not clearing the corners, up in the air. No way! Sunflower still walks away before finally being taken down with 2 kills. Gonna blast them right in. Parker's gonna try and find it. 2 concussed in heaven, but they're not gonna get any advantage out of this breach ultimate. Beautiful from Kilovati. What a way to fight that out. And now wrapped in it, the nightmarish embrace of Glore. USCA finds every single player of GCSU. In comes the Prowler. Mad is at her. It's just not many. It's head after head after head. 3 in a row. They are not stopping. They are putting a hat on each and every single one.
Ties us up 4-4, but with this weapons disadvantage and now player disadvantage, what else to be done other than lay down and die? USCA winning split 13-1. The most, if their accuracy stands to boot. Now, unfortunately, I'm not so far, but who cares when B gets a 4 4K and rips this team apart on this site A. A beautiful performance. All she has. Haddest. I don't know. That's what it is now. Lord Ian, last one left standing. Lord Ian, the 14th. Last one left standing.
They don't have time.
Up, and
Septimus,
nobody's
they
got
don't have
time to plant, Sam. Great eye, my friend. Lord Ian clutches the round, technically, but a win is a win is a win. The Elim to boot! How insulting!
Parker needs to make the magic happen. They have their ult. They have the smokes available to them, but they have seen them. They need to throw it down. In comes the Molly and Mattis Hatter to finish it up with the Odin kill. And there you have it. USCA. I said it right this time. Are going to be able to take this map of Ascent, and they're going to be able to take this series 2-0.
Breaking news.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup here in Boise, Idaho. The Western Regional Qualifier has been up and running all day long. We've got a great team of people scattered out throughout the building that are ready to bring you all the action of the content. We're going to jump over to the player pit with Septilence and get a hear on what's going on over there.
Hello, everybody. My name is Septilence, and not every great game can happen on stream, so a little bit of them happen here in the player pit. We've got UCLA versus UNLV in the lower bracket map 5 control happening right now. Whichever team loses this, unfortunately, goes home this weekend. It's all on the line right here. Capture the energy and the excitement of how much this can mean to these players.
Thank you so much, Septilence. It looks like great things are going on over there, and a lot of us have been spending all day long here in the building, so we want to take a look outside. We're now going to jump over to Septilence with the weather. Thank you so much, Septilence. I, like many other people here at CECC West, have been inside since about 8 o'clock this morning. It was nice when I was out there, but as of right now, I have no clue what the weather's like. Back to you on the desk, Septilence. All right. I guess that's the weather from Septilence. We've got a couple more reporters scattered out around the building. The first one going to be out on stage, getting a great feel for the competitors and the competitive nature that builds at an in-person event like this. Let's take a look at what Septilence has going on stage. Here on the main stage, we have Hawaii versus Oregon in our first streamed Valorant matchup of the weekend. These players, only some are going to get to play on stage, but when you're up there, it creates a whole new world of nerves, dangers, and new opportunities to take down your opponent. Thank you so much, Septilence, for going out and getting that information of what's happening on stage and letting us know which players and teams are having a good or bad time. So this event's all about at the end of the day is the players that are going to walk away with that first place slot. We're going to jump out to Septilence in the audience, who, if the rumors are true, is about to get some breaking news.
It has been chaos here today, Septilence. It has been a very busy day for these players, and Wave Riders from Hawaii are keeping it a very close game on stage, and things are This just in breaking news, we see the University of Hawaii Overwatch team goes 0-2 in pools, and unfortunately I don't think is going to be able to make it into the bracket. Now that's some crazy breaking news.
Some of the anchors here are a little more well-versed in our job, and others maybe are a little rustier, a little shakier. We're going to throw it over to one of our first-time broadcasters and get a feel about what he's got and his thoughts on this weekend. From what I understand, we have a correspondent somewhere outside. Apparently, he's running a little bit late. Maybe let's jump over to him and see if he's on his way.
They said look for the Septilence news van. I'm gonna be so late. What time is... Oh, my coffee! Oh, come on! Oh, man!
Now, collegiate esports is often a place where legends are forged as these players go head-to-head until there is the best of the best left standing. Now, we've gotten a rumor that a pro player has entered the building, and we've got a correspondent with a little more information on that. Septilence, take it away.
You know, I didn't think it was going to be easy, but it was a lot harder than I expected. When you arrive to a somebody named Septilence tournament, you don't think there's going to be a full bracket, but a win is a win, you know what I mean? I'm pretty excited to be taking this baby home.
Now, our team of correspondents was spread throughout the building, but due to the fact there's only so many of us, we could bring you just a taste of what the CECC has to offer. Now, remember, the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup is in Arlington, Texas later this year, and if you want to keep an eye on that, be sure to follow Esports U on all of their social media, all of their channels, including Twitch and Twitter, to stay up to date with what we have to offer. Thank you so much for joining me and my correspondents, and we'll see you in the next one. Okay, CECC West, Septilence is in the audience, Septilence is in the pit, Septilence is outside, Septilence is lost, Septilence is sleeping. We gotta get more people on this team. That's crazy. Oh, wow. Just event of all of these, the massive, nope, I hate it. Oh my God. Okay. Thin and not, nope, I hate it. Sorry. Commission, nope. Screwed it up.
instead. That's nice to see. So even though we haven't seen North Georgia really be able to march forward with a lot of convincing attacks, at least the back line up until now has been secure. Can't get the read on the bounce, and that's finally our first goal. 10 seconds to go for Kennesaw trying to close this one out.
Yeah, still with the pressure here from Kennesaw. Now only our second demo. This one from downtown, and that's going to be an own goal here at 3 seconds. We spoke a little too soon here, Danger Talk. Slavip left side, little tap, not really taking away possession. Now definitely does. Spirit going up, the double tap. Hugh Dog and North Georgia come from behind victory with the Puma symbol on the side.
As we've seen many a time with new rosters in the beginning of the semester, this might be the first time these players are really playing together at all. So this is really setting the tone for how you guys all click together. Kwong trying to bury one here on the near post, and he does just that. Better. Might be able to pad those stats. Kwong throwing it right back in. That should be open, but it's just wide instead.
Almost gets the nose down onto it. A couple members fighting, twisting, and now an open net the other way going for North Georgia. Nobody's almost hitting payload. Now is Joel. A little soft hit right there. Kind of just puts it in the breadbasket of a couple North Georgia players. That's really, really bad as this one comes all the way down from the other side.
Being able to con the defense out of a clear that gets you the ultimate goal, as we will be able to enter into that 1-1. Maybe not for long as that clear gets away. Hugh Dog into Archie, and well worked from North Georgia. Safe to the side. They're feeling like heroes. They're keeping it up. Slavip into the ceiling. Sharky doesn't get it. Joel with a deflection. It's Quonk at 0. Hugh Dog in the way. Another save. North Georgia will very much so take that ball hitting the grass. Overtime somehow.
Now coming up for the serve. Hugh Dog down. That's a bouncer just a little bit too high though as Sharky tries to continue the theme. Down bottom. And Archie does it here for North Georgia. Set up all day long. Now shoots in right now, but Quonk is going to win that 50. Seems screaming off to the side. Bounce off some wall and now ends middle until North Georgia gets another shot at it.
Let's be open for Hugh Dog, and they will make no mistake. Kwong, I gotta say, a great effort, but sometimes you need something even greater. You're seeing a player get thrown all the way across, like Joel's really just flailing, and you're thinking, okay, well, I probably have enough time to go to the corner, and then instead, it is in your net, something they're becoming quite familiar with as a feeling. There's number.
Demo does come through, those Hugh Dog taking down a Kennesaw State member. Back to the middle, screaming up. Hello and welcome, Rocket League fans. We are here. We are live. Little best of 7 action coming at you. I'm FBI Tugboat. I'm here with the man Atomic. Atomic, how are we feeling on the day?
I am doing a great, Tugboat. Happy to be here. Happy to be ready to watch some fine Rocket League in front of us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We got Old Dominion coming on out of here from Virginia, taking on Buena Vista. That's the Beavers. This is their gold squad as well. Buena Vista, multiple teams within the ECAC. This is with Esports U, of course. Now, Old Dominion, it's the Monarchs here taking on Buena Vista, the Beavers. This will be their week 1 officially, right? We're looking at 2-0-0 records right now, Atomic.
That's good. And both of these teams are going to be able to make their stand now. Who is going to come away with a win, a great start to the season and to the semester, and who's going to have to fight from the back foot. And leading into that, I know that both of these guys, they're kind of similarly ranked. So it really is like a battle of the wits here. Who just has like a better coaching, better structure for these two universities?
Coach and instructor. That's what it's going to come down to here, Atomic. We have multiple grand champions on both sides. I believe that is GC 1-3 over there on Old Dominion, and with a champions over there, Buena Vista as well. So, like you just said, we have a clean slate right here. Either team can pop off. Both teams really going to want to put that good foot forward early here in the Esports U semester.
Buena Vista. And those guys are going to be the A-Pig, Kios Era, and Lethix, along with the other side. I'm sorry, that was Old Dominion. Then Buena Vista will be Balk, Ryan, Sky, and Balk will silence them early, getting the lead.
And there's Balk with the Baka right there, very early. AP Pig. We're gonna go with that. AP Pig tries the defensive stop right there. Can't quite get it, Atomic.
Not a worry in the world. They kick off as if nothing happened. And that was a quick goal, too. Very, very nice to just get a quick one there. Buena Vista, if they had any nerves, they definitely are not feeling them now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just down by one. This can be quickly undone. The good news here is you got plenty of time to do it. Ball going down the other way now. Pop play across the middle. This will go back towards Old Dominion for just a second. Weird hit across the wall right there, and this is going to result in a corner shot. Now picked up somewhat. Top, and down, can't quite get down to it. AP Pig, that defensive block is going to ring true this time.
Here we are, Sky on the ball for a last saving throw there. Trying to get it out of his own third. It will not work. Old Dominion are pressing hard. It will finally get it out. It will go right back in. The back and forth for both of these teams at the midfield. Old Dominion seem to be dominating in that area. Back wall attempts. Awkward sidestep from Ryan, but he still has control. He's going to try to backpass to his teammates. He's low on boost, and Old Dominion will try to capitalize, but the rotations for Buena Vista are just too strong.
Yeah, speaking of Old Dominion, one up right now, that's Lethix, but got to have some backup right there. Balk's going to quickly and easily take this one away, and a misplay across the wall right now. Sends this one back on over, but Balk now has plenty of room to work with and his teammates. BVU, Buena Vista, the Beavers bearing down right now. This is going to be decently centered and inside for Ryan Webb, spinning that one in. 2-0 now for the Beavers.
Yes, and Ryan, like you said, 2-0 for the Beavers, and their momentum is now on the largest upswing. It is Old Dominion here on the back foot. How will they respond?
Yeah, Kios, Era, Lethix, AP Pig, this squad over here for Old Dominion have given up a couple of opportunities right here for Buena Vista and early. That one coming about a minute and 40 seconds in. Buena Vista with a shot across the bow right here just to let them know they're still alive. Atomic, oh my god, across the bottom. This is more of a centering play right there that just took a little while to unfold.
This is now looking like a runaway here from Buena Vista. Old Dominion need to be careful. Step up here on the defense a bit. Buena Vista are unrelenting with their offense.
Beavers bearing down those teeth. They use them for a reason. They build dams. They're the only animals outside of humans to do it, right? Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
They do, in fact, build shelters. And it looks like they have left home, run amok all over the Old Dominion campus. And there's no stopping them. They did call pest control, Tugboat.
Oh, seriously, something right here. Now, I don't think beavers actually are considered like of the rodent class. I believe they're more like of badgers and such. We'll get confirm on that in between games here, folks. Lethix with a nice clear right here over to the right side. Buena Vista feeling the pressure. The first time in a while. Solid shot. AP Pig tries to get the undercarriage onto that one. And a nice takeaway right here. Kios Era. This goes against backboard. Now a shot inside. It is immediately stopped by Sky trying something. Kios again, a slow roller. And this one's going to bounce off to the outside left.
Listen, under control here by Sky for Buena Vista. They don't have to rush into things now. They just have to keep control of the ball, not give up the ball, anything like that away. A shot comes through from ODU. And a well-coordinated one as well. They're getting creative with their passing plays, but Buena Vista just have the vision to be able to stop it before anything gets way too dangerous.
Yeah, this is actually a double up down here. BVU has done a great job of cutting their rotations pretty cleanly and giving space, but that double up down bottom, ODU kind of passes up a small opportunity to try and increase this pressure and make something of it. But once on this board, now Sky wide open blue right here. Pop play up to the upside, off backboard. Ryan trying to keep this one the offensive third. And immediately Kios Era. Wow, okay, check the pitch right there for a couple broken axles We get a perfect view of this one. Wow, yeah, that's, I think that was Bulk right here, not 100% sure.
Yeah, and I mean, congratulations for ODU to be able to get on the board. Something very strong as looks like Buena Vista had their dam set up, but they finally got a couple notches knocked down, especially the one to get through the net. Minute 24, and Old Dominion have some new spark in them.
That river will rage, Atomic, I'm telling you.
As
hydrofluvial movement.
Kios. And I just want to let you know, Rodent class, unfortunately, CBS Sunday Morning has Beavers a success story as the first result on Google. So I'm gonna have to cut you down on that one, but that's not why behind the ball and try to center it. Will not get through. Take it to his own corner. He's running out of boost now. Does he have the mechanics to at least get this to a teammates? Midfield, since it's alerted. There is Old Dominion taking charge back of the ball and what they need to do here in the last 45 seconds here, Tugboat.
ODU, this is the time to just pour it into offense right now. They're playing super defensively. You can just see their spread out play, one all the way across. Now Kyocera, nice pass play, shot to the bottom, and that's ODU bringing this one back to 1, Atomic. A little bit of life here for the Old Dominion squad.
That's exactly right, and like you said, bringing back some life. It looks like Old Dominion may dominate in the 2v2 category. There was a Rule 1 of the field, and it left one of the Buena Vista defenders motionless. Quick one for the team there.
I did not catch that. A keen eye, Atomic. Keen eye, well done. Shots over here. Kyocera bringing it on out. Now giving it over to the Lethics. AP Pig realizes that this ball was dangerously positioned and shoots it quickly over to the side. Now corner play, can't quite get a handle onto this one. Now 10 seconds to go. This is probably the last ODU offensive. Nope, taken away, right up close. Okay, well, never say never until triple zeros and ball hits ground. There is still opportunity. There is still hope for humanity. But Buena Vista going to be able to ground this one out. 3-2 victory in game number 1.
And you know what? Congratulations to Old Dominion. They kept that competitive all the way till the end. Buena Vista were running away the first half of the game. Second half, it got a little chalky. You know, their midfield presence wasn't so dominant. And Old Dominion were able to capitalize. And for that reason, we had a very competitive game 1, Tugboat. Very luckily so.
Yeah, absolutely. Bulk really coming forth, doing a lot here for Buena Vista. 4 shots on, 2 goals in as well. No saves to be had, but you got teammates like Ryan and Sky putting up 1 apiece. That's going to be A-OK. AP Pig coming in, couple saves right there, having more of a defensive role there in game number 1. Maybe a more well-rounded play for Old Dominion in game number 2 result. Maybe even closer game, because I got to say, up 3-0 for Buena Vista. We generally know what the script is going to say at that point, Atomic. It was a fantastic job here to bring this one back at least a little bit closer for Old Dominion.
Yes, exactly. And so I'm just getting more and more excited for game number 2. Old Dominion now on the back foot, but not down and out in terms of momentum. They scored the last 2 goals of the last game. And then Buena Vista had scored 3 goals early. So as long as Old Dominion can stop them as early as possible, they have a fighting chance.
Yeah, Old Dominion goes up early right here. I think we may be seeing a different game number 2. As we always say, the most important time in these competitions is those little breaks where coaches, players can get together, figure out strats, future games, and game 1 of the best of 7 series. Not going to be that big a deal. Back to the middle right now. Everybody just kind of playing over possession right now. Back to the middle, trying to get this one centered. Goes up for it. I believe that's Ryan now. Backboard forces this one out. Another BVU attempt in just a second.
And some Buena Vista are doing a great job on making some cuts when Old Dominion just least expect it. They make cuts with 1 man and try to go across 2, and if you are out of boost for Old Dominion, you will have a chance to be scored on. And Buena Vista will look for those moments time and time again. Here it is. The ball. There's a shot attempt that's just going to be just wide. It's going to go into the corner. We have Buena Vista not able to get it out of their own half. That is a shot right into the top left corner. Kyocera will get the first goal for Old Dominion.
Nicely done. It was the Beavers that struck first earlier and then just left looking down bottom. That's going to be Ryan. Yeah, just a bad angle right there and can't quite get all the way up to it. A minute into that one. Hey, it didn't happen at 12 seconds, but I'd say a minute is still kind of an early goal here at Atomic. Is that fair?
Yeah, it feels like it. I've seen so many games where there's just no goal scored. It feels like limpless bodies just flailing at each other. This game is not that. I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we may see one. There's an opportunity, an open net miss. He can't get the double either. He's just going to go ahead and steal the opponent's boost. At least he could do that. Buena Vista seem to have their shoelaces tied up with each other, but they went ahead and untied them very, very quickly. Some defensive back plays are happening here and some possession play. There's a long ball. If we can get a connection here, Old Dominion will, in fact, save the day and bring it back to the midfield.
A little bit of demo action here to keep both these teams on their toes. I believe that's the first demo of this game so far, plus our Rule 1 respected in game numero uno, so we are off to a fine start. Not particularly aggressive, not particularly, decently high scoring, 5 total in the first one, but a close game it was. Almost another one right there from Ryan. Now, kind of waiting in the wings. Sky going to take to the clouds right now to try and put this one back to the middle, but you got to have a little bit more follow-up right there, and that is what the teammates are for. That is just a really good clear off the other way. They're going to be happy that one wasn't a little bit more centered.
All of these chances are so close to just getting into the net. But look at that, another one saved away here by Old Dominion. They are keeping this lead, this 1-0 lead. They're holding on to it tightly. How long can they with Buena Vista once again unleashing a ferocious attack time and time again, peppering the net?
Yeah, just what some folks prefer that sniper play, the one shot, one kill kind of thing. Nope, this is more machine gun fire, and you're heading over the trenches. What you may find on the other side. Oh, I thought that was going to be it for AP Pig. So an open net completely whiffed for BVU, and now an open net for ODU completely whiffed. This could very easily be a 2-1 game right now, Atomic.
Correct, and a demo might just to be what Old Dominion need to get the second goal on the board. Buena Vista are saying bye-bye to their series lead.
A demo. What an absolute demo. Just 9-headed right there. Go for it, take out defender. It's just without that demo, that is just a methodical pass along the sidewall.
Yeah, you know what? I will 100% agree. That demo is in fact crucial, and I hope to see a few more. The style of play for Old Dominion seems to be fitting. Buena Vista may catch on and are being a little smart with their motionless plays. Here we have a couple of midfield attempts getting saved away back to the midfield. That is a good hit by Sky, and they will go straight over to the Old Dominion side faster than they expected. It will be a cutoff here at their own half, and it will get sent right back away to the midfield.
Big clear right now. Ball rotates back. Teammates got it, so the trust the teammate does come through. A little bit of defensive play now here for the Beavers. No, not without attempting. Oh, it's just a little bit too high. AP Pig just rattles that top bar right there and lets it know what he really thinks of it.
They have an insurance goal, so you won't have to think about it too crucially, but in a more dire time, that could have been fatal here for Old Dominion. They could have been down. Instead, that is another story here. We have Eos going for an aerial bump play. Love to see those here, Tugboat. We are all about those bumping and demoing plays. And Buena Vista are seeming to have to outstretch themselves, try to get the ball out.
Physical play. It might seem a little bit odd to say about a game like Rocket League, but especially at these higher levels, GC, that's going to be too high. That one isn't. AP Pig rattles in another one. And I do believe that's going to be a nail in our coffin here for BVU's game number 2.
Yep, all they needed was a warm-up game. Buena Vista had an electric game 1 in the first half, and now the second half, they'll have to try to find a way to recuperate.
Yes, they will. There's technically enough time to score thrice, but it ain't gonna happen with Grand Champions peppering these fields just all over it like a minefield. 15 seconds to go. Maybe a little bit of maybe a little mental play, a little bit of demos right here on the end, something. As we do know, this is just simply not enough time, any way, shape, or form to really get something done. Still up close and personal. ODU not willing to give up the offensive possession quite yet. We're hitting 000s, and this ball is going to be hitting the ground shortly. That's it for game number 2, and BVU makes a statement. Game number 2.
And here we are. We're going at leading into game number 3. Let's take a look at how game number 2 was. You saw Old Dominion go 3-0 against Buena Vista. And as you can see, there's only 3 saves, Buena Vista there. And a whole lot of shots, especially from AP Pig. 5 of them himself. He missed that one crucial one, but he got that double. And for me, that should count for 2 and 1, so that should be
Yeah.
6. But the 5 is a shining star for him.
It really is. So we have 8 total shots here for Old Dominion and only 3 for the other side. In a lot of ways, we can extrapolate this data to really say that, one of these teams had the lion's share of possession in this. You have possession, you're going to get more offensive opportunities. And you give those over to AP Pig. AP Pig gets 5 attempted shots. I mean, anybody really, but AP Pig has really shown that they have the skills to pay the bills here at Atomic. Any player gets 5 attempted shots in a 5-minute Rocket League game. You either hope that's going to be very, very high scoring, or that team is likely going to win.
Yes, exactly. And when you give one player 5 shots, you're deemed to have another player have at least 1, 2, and another one with 1.
Yeah.
That leads to a lot of pressure on your defense. And Old Dominion, we're doing a great job with keeping up that offense. And Buena Vista, they're going to have to find out a way to maybe counteract this game. They were getting very creative early on, like you saw in game number 1. They were doing very well with their offense. They were not only were they setting up plays, they were setting up solo plays, amazing cuts. We're going to have to see some more flashes of brilliance like that in order for them to take away game number 3.
Want to see more passing plays here in game number 3. This is a best-of-7 series, essentially boiled down to a best-of-5 now. Buena Vista taking game number 1 in a 3-2 fashion, much closer. Old Dominion answering back. Again, a statement with a period at the end. We're going to be heading on into game number 3 here in just a second. Keys to victory here. Keys to victory. I'm going to say for Buena Vista, just a lot more passing plays. When you can do that and maintain possession, not just foisting the ball off into the, into the nethers, right?
A asterisk there definitely needed. And as we go on a bit of a slow start, it seems, from both of these teams, the way we've been starting the past 2 games. Some back and forth, a couple of midfield action here at 50-50. That may be on the side for Old Dominion. A shot that goes wide. Buena Vista are happy that one did. Now they're going over for a counterattack. A 50 of the 3rd man. And 2 ready attackers not able to get a shot strong enough to get past Lethix.
Yeah, that was a beautiful attempt there from Lethix. Almost a double tap to send that one in early. We've gotten first goal at 14 seconds, first goal at 1 minute in, games 1 and 2 respectively. See if that theme continues right up close and personal. And AP Pig, once again, you will not set foot on AP Pig's farm.
AP Pig's farm, I like that. And another demo coming through.
Jesus.
And the physical play has officially begun. Let's see how cool-headed the other team will be as they are not being on the field at times. And the ball will go into the corner. This will transpire. There will be another one there. A 2-man army is what it takes to defeat that one. And a high aerial play, a nice passing into the midfield. Not able to be touched there by Lethix, although the attempt was there. He was being guarded there, and the person guarding him was trying to get a pass out mid. All the pressure on the defense led him to give it a bit of a fumble, and it's going right back to the midfield where it all starts.
Back to where it all began. Nice hit. This is going to be from the top board. Oh, man, another fantastic opportunity. AP Pig going to be racking up the offensive attempts already.
Will continue. AP Pig sending it away. Trying to get it just into the Buena Vista half at least, but he will take it himself and it won't get saved. Can someone clip that save for me? Please tell me how many pixels are in between the ball and the black shade that happens when the ball's like near inside the goal. I don't know what you call it. We should actually coin that term, tugboat. I'm calling it the tugboat.
The tugboat region. I don't know. Sounds like a part of the Northwest Passage or something like that. I don't know. Kios Era, nice takeaway here across the middle. Now, just an even better one after his enemy fails to really get any kind of significant clear. Still picking this one up. That's going to be Kios Era now trying across the middle and waiting. Perfect wait right here. The redirect. Oh, man, it's just going to be cornered out just a little bit too much by the defender. VVU, excuse me, still going to be on the defense for the time being. A low, slow blow picked up by AP Pig, and now ODU circling the wagons and looking offensive with it.
Circling the wagons, rotations are having to get cut way shorter than what they typically should be. And like you saw, there was a couple overstretched saves here.
Yeah.
That kind of kept this game alive. We're still scoreless. As I said earlier, these are the games that you kind of feel like some bodies are just getting tossed around. There's a shot on net. It will get saved away. Another one where a man just has to dive and get the ball out of the way.
There you go. Yeah, that was a fantastic defensive block. This game 3 has been all defensive so far. 90 seconds in, and Leafix finds a lethal one here. About a minute and a half left in this game number 3. Now, Atomic, are we thinking that this is it? An aerial play from here to put up 1-0 after, I mean, both teams have tried so much. Just this one was just seemed destined to go in.
Yes. Well, you know what? My prediction here is if that's what you're asking, is that they will tie the ball game, and it will be a minute 34 left.
Got it. Perfect predictions here from Atomic. 100 for 1 out of 1. 100% efficiency so far.
I've never cast a curse ever.
Yeah, that's nice. Wish I could say the same.
No worries. And as we come into a tied ball game, gosh, look at the flicking. Can we get the buff as well? He will miss that second attempt, but the effort was there. And Buena Vista and Old Dominion are back to square one, Tugboat. We might have to see Old Dominion have to go for a fancy, schmancy aerial play in order to score again, but Buena Vista just kind of make it seem easy. They may even have some kickoff strategies in order to get those things going.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that it happened once. I'm saying it can't happen again. Off the backboard, trying to set it up for AP Pig, just a little bit too high, but now a bouncing play barely tipped out, and now that's the clear here for Sky. It's across the back. It does get the hit, but Ryan comes in for the dagger. Going to be a demo. See them back in just a second. Cornered play now as Sky takes to the corner, sends it back down. Met perfectly. 50-50 off to the right side. ODU still on the defensive stance.
No worries. Here we have the midfield pass over to the defense. They squared away nicely. A double commit will go up. Buena Vista are in danger, and that will leave a gap for AP Pig to slot it.
Yeah, it's with 2 of these now, I think we do see a theme here in game number 3, and that is that when ODU takes to those skies, you know what they say, when pigs fly. Well, AP Pig, you better believe it, people.
That will lead Old Dominion. 2-1, ladies and gentlemen. Buena Vista seem to have been only having some glory in the early game. This is their test. Can they tie it back up once again? Another hit to the other side, and here it is. Kiosera leading the attack here for Buena Vista. And then it will go the other way. We have 2 seconds remaining. The ball needs to touch the ground in order for this game, and Old Dominion to take the second one of the series. The ball goes high. Will it be saved? Nope, he will not drop it. It will still stay in the air. I think that one, yeah, a bit unreachable.
Gotcha. Well, that's going to be Buena Vista trying to keep this ball alive, keep that drive alive. Not going to happen right there. There's the demos. That's what we were looking for. 5 for the side of Old Dominion, 5 for the side Buena Vista. AP Pig just had that eyes on the prize, right? Always going for offensive opportunity. AP Pig had as many shots. Oh, no, excuse me. AP Pig had 1 less shot than the rest of the lobby. AP Pig had 6. The rest of the lobby had 7. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I had 7. Excuse me. Math is hard, people.
No worries. And as you said, the star of this game was the demos. I think it was the all gas, no break mentality coming in from both teams. They had no stoppage in offensive attack. There was the ball being sent both ways, trying to gain momentum any way they possibly could, reaching for anything that they could just catch their fingers on. Ultimately, Old Dominion will lead that one 2-1, and they'll take it game number 3. And this is a best of 7 Tugboat, so we're strapped in for at least another 2 games. Hopefully, we'll go all the way to game 7.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, we do have Overwatch after this one as well. We'll be sure to remind you guys as we closer to the end of this stream. But if Rocket League ain't your jam, stay in tune. 2 more games right here at least. I want to delve into this a little bit, though, because it does kind of seem like Buena Vista has a little bit of aerial problems. Both scores that Old Dominion got on this was the result of picking up about 100 boosts and taking it to the skies. Atomic. Any input here?
Yeah, well, with a game leading just as early as this, Old Dominion seemed to be the catalyst for some attack, a counter attack now from Buena Vista this early on in the game. Could prove to be good. There's a third man that may jump here. He get something going, and that will be saved away. Old Dominion will do good on defense, and they will be rewarded with a musty flick attempt, a double tap attempt, and that will be saved. Buena Vista did a good job on defense to stop that one.
Yeah, fantastic offensive looks already here from Old Dominion. A shot over. Lethix picks this one up. Be trying to hit this against back wall and get it to a teammate. Can't quite. Met with the 50 and no momentum really. No change in position for this ball, as it might as well get an apartment over here on the left side. And, excuse me, right side's more trendy these days.
Right side more trendy these days. I do think it might be. I've heard that more of the world is now left-handed. Whether that is from more people reporting that they are left-handed or that there is just more left-handed people in the world. No one will know. But the right hand has always been in style, I'd say.
There you go. Leathix picks this one up down bottom. Just an easy chip shot down in. Might as well be golfing here.
That is right, and he was golfing with his left foot as it was passed to his right, and that is why we learn how to kick with our left foot, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Flying car soccer, but a lot of the themes from the virtual or from the physical game of soccer, football, most of the world calls it, translating here into the great game of Rocket League. Leathix looking for a second. Oh my goodness, the dirtiness. Filthy Leathix right here. 1 and 2 in the space of about, what, 15 seconds? Takes this guy's immediately, and that's going to be Sky on the other side who can't quite get there.
And if you look at Sky's boost, if you didn't see it, he had 0 on the end of his play. He was all out of gas. No way to try to save that ball. It was a bit unpredictable, especially when you give Leathix that much space to score a double tap. He's in practice even before the game. He probably hit that in training 3 times before he came in this game. He's going to hit that.
It just kind of seems like a lot. What Leathix and AP Pig definitely over here for the side of Old Dominion seem a lot more comfortable once those tires leave the pitch. A lot of offensive pressure right now against ODU though. Centered play. It's a little bit of a pop, but that's only going to go on over to Kios Era. Excuse me. Leathix up again. No boost to be spoken of. A shot still is AP Pig. Gonna find payload. Dirt, excuse me.
Yes, and Old Dominion are lucky to have a player like AP Pig to be able to put in more and more goals when you're already up in the lead. He will not let off the gas. He will continue to press the issue and continue to find holes in your defense.
I hate to be sounding like I'm beating the same drum, but ODU found a lot in game number 3 with those offensive aerial plays, and every single one of these has been at least started from the skies. Another bounce play right here, and BVU cannot put up with the onslaught of offensive shots down bottom. It kind of seems like I believe that was Bulk down there. What they say, you take long enough to make a decision. That decision is going to make you.
Correct, in for 4-0. Buena Vista need to make a change here and fast. Defending there. We have a bit of a misplay that actually could have resulted in a goal. Leathix. There. That will be a dunk here for the Buena Vista side, something that they are looking to have and need more of. A bit of a miss that may have led to a goal. They are now getting spicy kiosks on the Old Dominion side for a couple. I mean, we've already seen a couple misses that, again, we're at the goal. If one of those are just well placed, well timed, it will lead to something fortuitous.
So will. A lot of boost in hand for Kios Era. Ryan, the other side. Oh man, another more open net. Now this one could have been defended away if this was like bottom left corner, maybe even bottom right corner, but with a little bit of zhoosh, right? A little bit extra on top of it, a little bit of altitude. I think that would have been a fantastic opportunity for BVU to try and strike back. Reminder, guys, best of 7 series. ODU takes this one. We will be on series point.
Correct, and Buena Vista, as you were saying earlier, I mean, whenever they do have time on the ball, they need to make sure that it counts. And here is one where they are trying to take some more aerial plays of their own. AP Pig will send it away for a counterattack. Old Dominion are coming in, and it will get saved away by Buena Vista. Buena Vista have a chance. They gave the call for the ball back earlier than they may have expected. It is on the back wall. Second attack again. AP Pig will clear it out nicely. Oh, because he's going to press the issue and get a demo in the process. Can he get it to a player? No one's home, and these seconds are ticking away.
Yes, they are. Nice hit. That's going to be a little bit too high, and tries to get that one set up for Bulk. I love to see the Beavers' offensive onslaught continue here. There is no give up in this Beavers squad. Now down bottom, 51 here from ODU. Little bit of a nose onto this one as Lethix tries for another one. Backboard play. Nobody really there to pick this up on the other side. We have now officially reached garbage time though, folks, and ODU does know it. Every time this ball gets hit wide right, wide left, hits a corner, you're talking about 4 or 5 seconds off of this clock.
Seconds of 8, not able to afford. It is counting down from the 10-second mark down to the 7. We have no one here to score except for Old Dominion, who are looking for another double tag. AP Pig will put the nail in the coffin. 2 seconds left, 5-0. And it looks like Old Dominion will be going on to match point of the series.
Yes, they will. So, to recap here, Buena Vista comes out just shooting right from the hip. Buena Vista up 3-0 with about 90 seconds left in that game number 1. Old Dominion brings it back to a 3-2 scoreline, but still drops. Then a 3-0, then another very, very close game in game number 3, right? That was a 2-1 barn burner right there that Buena Vista did drop. So, if the theme continues, we're going to be seeing another very close game here in game number 5, even after the 5-0 stomp. 7 shots, AP Pig. Lethix gets into the conversation with 6 as well.
Yes, and we will continue. And I'll go ahead and highlight here Lethix here with, 6 shots all by his lump sum. AP Pig with 7, Kiosk with 3. I'm not going to try to math. I could. And then, look at the saves here from Buena Vista compared to the shots that Old Dominion had. It was clear cut. Like you said, the possession of the Old Dominion just overbearing here for Buena Vista. They need to build the dam faster than they may have thought. There is a flood coming.
Absolutely, yeah. And Balk right here, just got to point it out, 60 points right here, not going to be enough to get it done here for Buena Vista. To be fair, I believe it's at least 1 save that Balk should have on there, maybe even 2. If we replay the game film right there, whatever. Rocket League can be kind of weird how it awards. Defensive, offensive roles seem to be they're being made clear throughout these two teams, right? AP Pig mostly the offensive just juggernaut here for Old Dominion. On the other side, Buena Vista Balk kind of playing more of that defensive role with Ryan taking up the offensive bulk load.
And we'll see how this match point goes. It is on the fighting end here for Buena Vista. They need to get this game to keep the series alive. Old Dominion are looking to close it out here and now, and here's their chance to do it.
Absolutely. Lethix. So it's a sad song that is sung several times through this series so far. I gotta think for Liberation, sorry. We're looking at BVU right across the middle. Lethix once again. Lethix has sent this to the other side every time so far. Up to it. That's going to be Kios now. Balk. Little pop play right here is Sky. Chow's out. Now that's going to be a block, but an opportunity here for Balk and co. Balk actually kind of cuts a rotation to take a shot at that. I think there may have been a player on the other side, and that's going to go all the way in. Balk does not rotate, and this is all the way from downtown. Different area codes.
Different area codes, that's correct. And just a lack of boost here on the third man. Unfortunate timing, but that was a well-timed hit for Old Dominion to get up early. Game number 5.
Yes, sir. ODU goes up 1-0 right here off of just a little bit of miscoordination. It happens. Everyone always talks about, maintaining rotation. Cutting rotation is also the sign of a very good Rocket League player, of which we have many in the pitch tonight. 6 of them, like I said, to be exact.
Agreed, Tugboats. And that is why these games are so competitive. Here we have Buena Vista on a counterattack opportunity. He's going wide on the shot, but that is actually good. If we can get it to the pass, will save his team. A little bit for back here. Will be a contest here for the ball that was just struck so high in the air. It will be Buena Vista that gets there first. Wide once again, Lethix with some great ball control, keeping that possession. This is why Old Dominion have such good ability to just not let the other team score. It's because they usually keep the ball. However, a couple of physical plays and a well-timed demo timer will get the ball out of the Old Dominion side.
Yeah, a respawn timer is a little bit longer. I'm not sure if that defense would have held up the exact same way here at Atomic. Regardless, that's a parallel universe in the one we're living in right now. Kyocera now shot down bottom. Tries to come off the wall and maybe get a butt onto that one to center this one up a little bit more for the team play. Kyocera and the rest of ODU continuing just to realize the benefit of teamwork. Not that BVU isn't, but it was on display right there. AP Pig kind of combos for this one. Little pinch play over the other side. ODU Unfortunate change of possession right here across the middle. There's a shot up right now. That's going to be against backboard, but also forcing the hand. Lethix on the defensive stop.
As with half the game remaining, Old Dominion just need to hang on. How will they fare? Buena Vista know that this is their one and only chance to at least tie the game to overtime or something. And Old Dominion as well. Oh my goodness, God! He scored the most insane double touch I have ever seen on his own net.
Puts this up.
That was
Lethix. Holy moly. That is, well, that is certainly crazy play. OW ties this one up.
Lethix took away my ability to read.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I thought I misread that for a second. No, yeah, that was an own goal right there. I thought that Sky put it up and was able to get the second one right there. But yeah, when you got a goal-scoring eye like Lethix, sometimes you just gotta check the net color, right?
I will say if Buena Vista somehow, I mean, I'm not going to say it, but if Buena Vista did the thing and the thing is done, I will be clipping that moment.
Yeah, and it's going to be very impactful there, given what this means here in a game number 5 with ODU up at a 3-1 scoreline. 3-1. No sweeps in this series, but still could end early. Tied game though. About 100 seconds left. Kios Era, since it's back over the way that it came, back over the fence. We don't want it in our yard. AP Pig, nice shot, open net, nobody gets a handle on it, an ODU, a no breath of life in this series.
I like to think that AP Pig just has like a mini-map at the top left of his screen, just able to look like, hey, this is the most opportune time to shoot the ball, because he has done this twice now, and has given the ODU a lead twice now. It sounds like a perfect record.
I gotta say, like, it's almost like a little bit disrespectful, the way that AP Pig is able to read this line right through the middle of these players. It's like bouncing a basketball through somebody's legs. It's like, your awareness is not on the same plane as mine. You know, just crazy stuff there for AP Pig. Oh, a little bit of pressure. Okay, there's the stop.
Ooh, some physical play brewing, and there is a shot! Who is there? But Lethix, the man that can score on both sides, can also save on both.
Love it. Kyocera coming up for it. Aerial play down bottom. Oh no, that's Kyocera that's hitting this right. I'm not sure if that was an attempted like small pass to the teammate or a cut over. Oh no, Balk though coming back with a vengeance.
Listen, Balk from the other side of the field as well. Comes in with a nice little play, gets it over one and fakes out another. That will spell disaster. Old Dominion, Buena Vista tie the ball game up with less than a minute remaining, ladies and gentlemen. We now have a competitive game, and Buena Vista are very, very hungry. There's another opportunity that will just go wide, a pass opportunity. A third man getting overshot, and Buena Vista now looking to see if they can from the midfield or just stall it.
What? Okay, so a 50, several of them won by Kyocera. The back pass now resulting BVU maintaining possession, so it did work. Triple up play down bottom. Now this is off backboard. Who is there on the other side? And that's going to be nothing but ODU defensive stops. Now inside, Kyocera gets the block, sacrifices the body. Love it.
So Brian trying to play a selfless game here, having centered the ball twice there. Waiting for one of his teammates. They were very, very close. Old Dominion, however, had it red. Looks like we probably overtime. A couple seconds remaining. The ball is on the ground.
Okay.
It will not go up. That is a rarity.
I love this. I love this. We said it. The odd-numbered games are really close. The even-numbered games may not so much. 3-0 in Game 2, 5-0 Game 4 for both for Old Dominion. But new lease on life right here for this BVU squad. Beavers not going extinct quite yet.
With overtimes, the first minute is the most important. And if it lasts longer than that, then both of these teams truly deserve to make it to this overtime. And you already see some shots just skimming the crossbar, skimming the post, and they will continue to do this, ladies and gentlemen. The Sky will make it to the Sky. They'll get a shot through, and Ryan will put Buena Vista with their second game in the series taken.
Beavers will not go so quietly into that good night. A comeback play right here for BVU, and I mean, you kind of mentioned it. Should we bring it up here again? Because it did happen. It did happen in front of our eyes here, Atomic, right? The Lethic's own goal brought Old Dominion into a situation that they would have gone in 2-1 into OT. Buena Vista wrestles this one back. Victory from the jaws of defeat. Holy moly, do my eyes deceive me? We're looking at 13 shots. Buena Vista spread as evenly as you can here, Atomic. AP Pig, the only one showing up on offense in every way, shape, and form. 6 shots solo for AP Pig. Nothing Kios Era, nothing Lethix. Again,
Yes, and you say
against the
AP
other.
Pig. There you go. And AP Pig, you said the only one showing up on offense, but he was mostly on defense when he made those shots. So I mean, it shows there. The Buena Vista, they want the goals so bad, they're willing to overextend. They're willing to send that third man. And hopefully first and second can get back in time. AP Pig has found the hole twice, but Buena Vista kind of closed in their rotations to kind of figure out a way. If AP Pig's able to shoot it after our third man overextends, then we will just have tighter defensive rotation on the way back. And it seems to be going well for them. Can they continue this momentum? They are so close to tying up the series and eventually going to Game 7. But we have Game 6 to worry about.
Yes, sir. 3-2 right now. BVU takes another one, and we'll have boiled this best-of-7 series all the way down to a one-and-done. Trying to get the back tires onto it is Lethix right there. Now, pulls all the way back for rotation is Kios Era. It is their time to shine. No support, no boost, results in a change of possession right here. This ball goes back to the middle now. BVU, at least getting an initial shot in.
Yes, and Ryan, with Buena Vista, just trying to get shots in as early as possible, trying to catch Old Dominion off guard. They did twice, 3 times, sorry. But one of them in overtime. All the stakes were Old Dominion. If they win this game, as you said, they take the series, and I think they may as well put their best foot forward this game, because if they take it to Game 7, it's a bit scary. They don't want to go into those deep waters. They want to stay in the shallow area where they're in the lead. They have momentum. They have like a running chance, a running start, all this stuff. But Buena Vista are zooming in fast and looking to, if they continue on this course, to overtake.
Kyocera, nice shot. That's the same kind of idea that AP Pig has found value from, just threading the needle in between players, just very the snap decision, right? Okay, momentum this player, momentum that this player that way, momentum that player this way. Okay, just put it right through the middle.
We'll go straight down. Combat will go to the side of Buena Vista, all the way to the other side. All from one hit. There's an opportunity. AP Pig looking for another dagger to sink into the back of Buena Vista, and it will not get there. An open net. Yeah. Will it be saved? No, it will not when Lethix is able to shoot it top left.
Yeah, the thing is, I think everybody anticipated AP Pig being able to get that one in. Kios Era, if that was a fake, that was fantastic, because the defense is already trying to kind of collapse around them right now, and that is just the epitome of having trust in a teammate. ODU up 1-0 now in game number 6.
Listen, I will not discredit the shot that was taken. Like I said, top left. Buena Vista even had like themselves as a predator on defense, waiting for the shot to happen. They thought that they could cover probably 90% of the goal, and you know what? I'll give them that credit. Oh! Another one comes through. Old Dominion like clockwork. The kickoff just happened. Can we chill out?
Really, really quick, and Kios Era down bottom takes out the defender, as I believe that was Sky who was trying to rotate around, trying to hit the brakes, whip this one around and get into a defensive stance, get that block up. Does not happen, and this goal goes in from some defensive, and another one! ODU off of kickoff. What are we witnessing?
We are looking at a mad Old Dominion. They did not like losing that last game, and they are looking to take it out on Buena Vista.
A 3-0 victory here, 25 seconds outside of halftime now. Got to work on the kickoffs a little bit here for BVU between Rocket League competitions here for the Esports Youth folks. ECAC is the conference we're staring down the barrel of right now. Across the middle, nice hit right here. So BVU defense showing their teeth, at least for right now.
Listen, this is the first week for both of these teams. This is the first time we've seen them in action, and Old Dominion are looking to make a statement here in this game as they go up by 4.
And the statement for Old Dominion players not named AP Pig is that, hey, we can get this done too. AP Pig with the assist right there. Kios Era with another dagger right across the middle. 3 seconds outside of halftime. Is this game still salvageable, Atomic?
I will always. I'm rather hopeful that it'll be here. Chaos Era in the air here for Old Dominion, trying to get a pass over the midfield. Two of the Buena Vista are not home, not in town. No one's even through the net. Oh, it's just even slowly going to the net. Would have been trouble for the Buena Vista. Another whifty here, it seems. Ryan will read. Middle. Will try to get past the Old Dominion defender. Not good. The Old Dominion defender has a second. And you get a second. Will also be a back pass. AP Pig has the ability to get past one. Can he get past a second? It looks like he can. He cannot finish. However, is a teammate there. Sky will get in the way. But look at his boost count. Look at the boost count from his team. If they get a counter-attack brewing right here, right now, which they did not, Old Dominion could have been in trouble. It looks like Old Dominion are not done crushing this issue.
Sky trying for something. Backboard, tries to skip over to it. I couldn't quite see where teammates were. Going for the double tap right there. Not going to happen. Not going to find it this time. 4-0 now. Pop play up, and now over the other way. Sky once again sending this one back down to half pitch. On the other side is Kios Era backflipping for it, and Sky in their attempt to keep the ball away now just sends us on out to the outside. But hey, again, that's what you got teammates for. Kios Era with the redirect off the ceiling, and now backboard up to it. And now a little bit of back and forth down bottom, and that's another double tap from Lethix. Man, 5-0 now with 64 seconds. We've talked about daggers and coffins for games. I believe this is going to be the dirge, the funeral song for this series.
We played with a flipper set double touch. Coming in, like you said, from Lethix. The second one of the night, the first one being a double tap. And they'll give it away. Ryan, Sky High, full stronghold, will be able to score. And hopefully this leads to a couple more.
They don't like the music. 1-5 now here for BVU. It would be a Herculean task for BVU to come back 4 scores here in game number 6 with about 60 seconds left to go. But hey, we have hope. If not, without hope, what's it all worth, right?
We'll always have hope, Tugboat. BVU, you can score. Give them some strong confidence here from my side. I hope you and the crowd can also join me. Old Dominion, however, are looking for another goal, and they will get it. It's 6-1, AP Pig. I think I've said this before.
Yeah, I mean, this could be, this is more, this should be like a 5-1 game if it's normal, but there's 40 seconds left, so BVU is pouring everything into offense and not rotating back on defense as much. Regardless, the score difference remains about the same. Score difference 4, skateboards to 5, pretty much the same than the great game of Rocket League. We would have to see sleight of hand, pulling rabbits out of hats, the unending scarf, that comes out of your wrist here for the Beavers.
Listen, they will try, and they're even going to get a bit physical play. 19 seconds remaining. Another shotgun away from OW2 will not go in. BVU have a chance to at least show off some of their counter-attack abilities, get some practice in. Double tap, and Lethix will just fake the ball. And, with this overextension sometimes comes some mistakes, and that's okay, especially when you have so little time remaining and not a lot of ball time, not a lot of winning to be able to be done. Old Dominion will be your victors of this best of 7 in their first week of the ECAC, the Fall 23 contenders specifically.
Yeah, once again, 0 shots, 0 demos here for the side of Buena Vista. Old Dominion, everybody with 12 total shots, and again, distributed as even as you can. 9 total demos distributed again as even as you can right there. 3 for everybody on the demos, 4 for everybody on the shots right there. Well, the good news for us is that if we do have an interviewer, we're going to have some pretty easy questions, and that is essentially, why was it that this is so back and forth, right? Like, you start off with a 3-0 victory, right? You go to a 5-0 victory, and then the score difference remains the same in a 6-1 victory there in games 2, 4, and 6 respectively right there at Atomic. Just a lot of back and forth, and Buena Vista is able to fight back some, but at the end of the day, that only happened on the odd number games.
Very much correct. And, credit here to Buena Vista. They did put up a great fight. I mean, they won the first game, like you said. And then I believe it was the fourth or the fifth one, and then they took it all the way basically to a 4-2, which it could have very easily been a 4-1. So we saw a lot of fight in them. Their second week, hopefully, it will not go like this, as they showed a lot of promise. I mean, they knew when to just give it all up on the defense and start going for offense, and they were giving Old Dominion a couple of runs for their money, especially in the last couple seconds of game number 6. And I hope to see more of that as they continue on the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Any sort of like issues are very minor ones and things that they have the game plan down. It's just kind of about clearing up those edges a little bit here for Buena Vista. That is the Beavers Gold Squad as well. Buena Vista with multiple teams. Be right back. We're going to try and find an interview for you guys. Little post-game content coming at you. Don't tune away because it'll just be a quick little break. Alrighty, folks. Unfortunately, you have to wait a little while longer for some ESU player interviews, post-game and whatnot. We have other matches coming up, so just don't have enough time for it on the day. But this has been Old Dominion taking down Buena Vista. That was a 4-2 score line over here on the series, Atomic.
Yeah, and the 4-2, I mean, came down from a 2-3, a 3-0, and then a 2-1, a 5-0, and a 2-3, and a 6-1. So most of them obviously being won here by Old Dominion. But Buena Vista put up a great fight, especially in that first game. They came out very, very strong. And then on the fifth game, they took it over them in overtime as well. So it was very, very close until the very, very end. Buena Vista looking forward to your second week as well. And Old Dominion looking to celebrate for the week.
Yeah, we really did have kind of all kinds of scoring, right? Like the very first game, Buena Vista comes in and they go up 3 scores immediately, right? And then of course Old Dominion comes back 2 scores right there. Buena Vista follows that second game, another complete sweep, 3-0, 5-0, 5-6-1, stuff like this. But we also get some awesome overtime stuff. Just absolutely love that. That's going to be it for Rocket League, though, guys. Don't tune away, though. We do have some Overwatch coming up here. That is Army West Point Esports taking on Marist College in their week 2 here for Esports U's ECAC Overwatch and other Rocket League competitions, esports competitions on the week. And you guys are in for a treat because, of course, you got Dividing by Zero and Sam Talks coming in to scream at you about some Overwatch. I'm very, very jealous, and I'll be tuning in there as well. With that, though, Atomic, I do believe we have reached the end of our Rocket League broadcast. Anything else for the good people before we switch on over to Overwatch?
Yes. So, I mean, essentially from me, thank you to everybody and the production, Coltoon, and everybody that keeps Esports U running, ECAC running, and thankfully for my co-caster, the host, FBI Tugboat, for carrying us through the match.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Wouldn't be able to do it without you there, Atomic. Guys, don't tune away again. Overwatch, that's Army West Point Esports, Marist College coming up in just a second.
Instead, that's nice to see. So even though we haven't seen North Georgia really be able to march forward with a lot of convincing attacks, at least the back line up until now has been secure. Can't get the read on the bounce, and that's finally our first goal. 10 seconds to go for Kennesaw trying to close this one out.
Yeah, still with the pressure here from Kennesaw. Now only our second demo. This one from downtown, and that's going to be an own goal here at 3 seconds. We spoke a little too soon here, Danger Talk. Slavip, left side, little tap, not really taking away possession. Now definitely does. Displayer going up, the double tap. Hugh Dog and North Georgia come from behind victory with the Puma symbol on the side.
As we've seen many time with new rosters in the beginning of the semester, this might be the first time these players are really playing together at all. So this is really setting the tone for how you guys all click together. Kwong trying to bury one here on the near post, and he does just that. Better. Be able to pad those stats. Kwong throwing it right back in. That should be open, but it's just wide instead.
Almost gets the nose down onto it. A couple members fighting, twisting, and now an open net the other way going for North Georgia. Nobody's almost hitting payload. Now is Joel. A little soft hit right there. Kind of just puts it in the breadbasket of a couple North Georgia players. That's really, really bad as this one comes all the way down from the other side.
Being able to con the defense out of a clear that gets you the ultimate goal, as we will be able to enter into that 1-1. Maybe not for long as that clear gets away. Hugh Dog into Archie, and well worked from North Georgia. Safe to the side. They're feeling like heroes. They're keeping it up. Slavip into the ceiling. Sharky doesn't get it. Joel with a deflection. It's Quonk at 0. Hugh Dog in the way. Another save. North Georgia will very much so take that ball hitting the grass. Overtime somehow.
Now, coming up for the serve. Hugh Dog down. That's a bouncer just a little bit too high, though, as Sharky tries to continue the theme. Down bottom. And Archie does it here for North Georgia. Set up all day long. Now shoots in right now, but Quonk is going to win that 50. Seems screaming off to the side. Bounce off some wall, and now in the middle until North Georgia gets another shot at it.
Let's be open for Hugh Dog, and they will make no mistake. Quonk, I gotta say, a great effort, but sometimes you need something even greater. You're seeing a player get thrown all the way across, like Joel's really just flailing, and you're thinking, okay, well, I probably have enough time to go to the corner, and then instead, it is in your net, something they're becoming quite familiar with as a feeling. There's number.
Demo does come through. Those Hugh Dog taking down a Kennesaw State member. Back to the middle, screaming up to this one, now to the left side. All three members right here. This is a very bottled up defense, and Sharky takes a bite.
No one even there because, frankly, I think Kennesaw thought that bounce was going to be going a different direction. Same maybe with the defense here for UNG. They can't read it. Slavip does. It's 1-1. They were actually on the far side waiting for an awkward touch and then dove in and actually used their flip angle to throw it right back in the middle. Of course, I'm talking about them. And meanwhile, it's just Swiss cheese for Kennesaw. They're getting sliced through by the blade that is the UNG attack. How about Joel trying to show him how it's done? It's a little bit too soft, a little bit of a double commit even. Quonk near post, that's a miss. Slavip, that's a miss. Joel, that's a miss. Everybody swinging at it. Get these people some corrective lenses because it's Sharky on the far side with the clear vision from the teammate. My goodness, my heart.
Tit for tat, player for player. They're trying to make those right in the midst of the field. But even so, Florida Southern, they're being sent packing. They're having a lot of pressure here, Orbital. And let the strike on target. Texas Red, the hero of us all, says. Florida Southern, though, have been able to.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. If you thought week 1 of ECAC was spectacular, well, just you wait until week 2 comes at you. My name is Sam Tonks. Joining me is Dividing by Zero. And Dividing, we have a great matchup tonight of Overwatch 2, going into it with Marist College versus Army West Point Esports. Now, interesting thing about these two teams, right? They're both sitting 1-0. Both having a win on their first weeks. Biggest difference, however, Army West Point Esports was able to get a 3-0 against George Washington University. On the flip side, though, Marist, they did get the win, but it was a forfeit.
Yeah, not only was it a forfeit, but it was a forfeit against Fishermen, which is such a massive gift for Marist to start the season. Not only do they start off the season 1-0, but they get to avoid playing what is, in a lot of people's minds, the scariest team in all of ECAC for the rest of Swiss stages. You don't have to worry about that until we get to the playoffs. So very much starting off on the right foot there. So Marist, I don't think, is complaining, but they're still an unproven roster, right? This is the first time we're going to see them play this season. This is kind of like, this is a different roster than the roster that's playing that has played in EGF in the past, that is playing in the Overwatch Collegiate Homecoming. So there's a lot of stuff that I don't know about this roster, and I'm really excited to see what they come out with.
Yeah, it's a lot of question marks, but those question marks will hopefully have periods at the end of them. With tonight's performance, at the very least, we'll get an idea of what is going on there. But when we look over at Army West Point Esports, we know that they were at the very least able to get that 3-0. So we know that this is still a very dominant team, a very strong team going into tonight's matchup. And of course, having that extra week of play under your belt, shaking off a little bit of that preseason jitters, actual game itself. Now, speaking of the actual game dividing, we do have our map 1, and we're going to be starting off on the map of Oasis.
Yeah, Oasis, a very interesting map. You could kind of get away with whatever style of play you want to on here, but we are going to be starting off on City Center, the map that is famous for being really, really contestable, right? You have the big pillar in the center of the map, so it's really easy to just kind of tiptoe onto that donut point shape and be able to hold it for as long as possible. So we'll see if that's the kind of thing that we end up seeing, or if teams really want to take advantage of the high grounds that are in the middle and surrounding the outside of the point. And as the gates unleash for week 2 of ECAC, Army seems to be going for the high ground strat, with Shiz locking the Torb early.
Looks like both teams are going to meet it out here in the middle. Is going to be the first one to reach that high ground. However, it's going to end in disaster for Maris, losing out of their tank. GG Dax has fallen, and now without that, Maris is going to lose a lot of that sustainability. Army West Point can just continue to cleave right through the rest of them, and that is going to be an easy first point capture.
Really nicely done. I think GG Dax was a little bit caught off guard, seeing Army West Point charging for the exact same trampoline that they were, and Dax got a little bit caught out in the middle of nowhere, which, I mean, when you're Junker Queen and you've already used your commanding shout to get out of spawn early, there's not a ton that you can do about that one. But Army West Point now, being able to win the first fight, is going to be able to take advantage of those high grounds, and that's where Stade Mold is up right now.
Absolutely, and look at how difficult it is for them to actually fight it out up there. Destroyer, though. A clean kill on Comrade Doge. GG Dax is still going to have to try and get in the face and fight it out here, but you've lost Genji. Maris has lost a lot of their fight to go along with this, and Army West Point doesn't really need to engage too much more than what they need to. You can see they're just hanging out here by that high ground. Gonna find Caesar Salad, and Shiz walking around the gazebo, looking for another pick, potentially onto a bone. The rocket slide did get them out of there just in time. They may have fallen, but got their target with their dying breath.
Ooh, but no one sees Doge coming up on the high ground here. It is going to get the healing field out from Stade Mold, and all of a sudden, Maris looked out of it, but with 2 quick kills from Comrade Doge, this is a really great opportunity for Maris to come back in here.
Potential might be right there, but you're gonna get the nano boost on Rock, sitting at that 95% marker with that Graviton Surge. Sees Caesar Salad by themselves, got 2 high value targets from that 1 Graviton Surge, and is now gonna continue to look towards getting the rest of that cleanup.
I am a Zarya connoisseur, and that was some fantastic Zarya play right there. Just get charged up and knock them down with a massive, massive beam. Army West Point do manage to hold on, and with 90% about and counting, this is going to be Maris' last chance to even get a little bit of point percentage here on City Center. Now, they do have a lot of ults online to do it, but they just are having so much trouble getting past this high ground.
And they are. Now we're brought to overtime. The Kitsune rush to start off this team fight, but Shiz does have the Molten Core ready. They just need to be able to survive to use it. Comrade Doge has fallen. They had the blade just at the last moment, but couldn't manage to bring it out. And now things are ending up in disaster here for Maris as one after another falls. It's going to be that last-ditch effort from the sound barrier, but now with the tactical visor being used and activated, it is just a matter of time here. Brought into overtime as it ticks away. Army West Point gonna take this first round 100-0.
It was just such a rushed final fight there from Maris. They were pressured to get onto the point, and losing that first fight on the edge of the map there, Sam, I think was the deciding factor the entire round. Maris did not have a good answer to Stayed, Mold, and Destroyer sitting up on the high ground, able to throw down anti-nades, able to throw down damage, and now, yeah, they were just never able to overcome that positional disadvantage. But now as we head over onto Gardens, they have another fantastic chance here. Again, this high ground in the center of the point is very contentious. It's a huge positional advantage. Will Maris, now moving over to a Winston-based composition, be able to take the first point this time?
Yeah, we're going to find out here. Maris making that only swap in the form of that Winston. So we're already seeing Shiz move their way over here on the Junkrat. The massive amount of damage that they're outputting just immediately bursts the bubble of GG Dax. Back up in the air they go, but Shiz not able to find anything. A Bone, a much better position for them, is now starting to find picks, looking to go in towards the back line. It's just working out so perfect for them. Now throws down the Disruptor shot. Dividing Maris. They're fighting back.
Yeah, that was a huge play by Abone and the rest of Maris, realizing that, hey, they're so focused on the high ground, we can do a little pincer maneuver and take the backline off guard. Beautifully done. It is going to force Rock to go onto a Winston of their own in order to be able to try and contest that high ground. Shiz is staying on the Junkrat, though, even though he didn't get a ton of value with it the first time around. And now without the high ground, I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get those grenades to go where you want them. But hey, if Comrade Doge is going to offer themselves up like that, you take it.
Yeah, now it's going to be up to Maris to try and find a pick of their own, but it's going to become so much more difficult. Army West Point in control of the high ground. Rock is so low, so close to that death point, still holding up by the thinnest of margins. All they needed was that one thread, and now it's starting to fall apart here for Maris, but maybe be able to turn it right back around. GG Dax has that primal rage, still ticking upwards in that percentage, and now looking towards another opportunity, throws down the bubble, prevents Save Mold from getting the heals from their auto. Comrade Doge has regrouped, given the reinforcements for their team, and Army West Point, where they had it in their hands. Maris pulled it back to fighting.
That was actually incredible. Comrade Doge gets back literally in like the thinnest of margins, the nick of time to help Maris get back into this. And now they're gonna, oh, okay, Lucio 1v1 off the side here. Caesar Salad is unfortunately, boo, this man ends up leaving the Lucio 1v1. But this is gonna be an explosive one. 70% and counting. Last fight here for Army West Point, and both teams with a lot of bolts.
All right, we're going to see what can happen with this Nano Boost being put onto Rog. Not able to find too many targets. Feels like the Nano Boost really isn't getting exactly what they want out of it just yet. Still trying to find the support, but not going to be giving it to them that easily. The Primal Rage available to them. Rom King, however, did use that Kitsune Rush early on in the team fight. We're seeing a pick for a pick, and now with the Dragon Blade being pulled from Comrade Doge and the Overclock, it is just putting the pressure onto Maris. Now Brock by themselves has to use the Primal Rage to save the day, but is it going to be good enough to pull this back for Army West Point? It's seemingly like it might be able to. Protection Suzu is going to keep GG Dax alive for just the moment. Now Rock, we're going to see the Riptire come through, like you say, dividing, and that is actually going to be good enough for Army West Point here in this overtime.
They're just barely, again, by the thinnest of margins at all. It's all because Shiz held on to the Riptire for the very last second. Sometimes when every team lets go of all of their ults at one time, it's the one player that showed a little bit of restraint that ends up changing the tides. So now 99%, Army West Point cannot lose another one, but they have a chance here to win this with a 2-0. But they have a lot of low health bars at the top.
And they do. It's still going to be that pick for a pick. It's going back and forth. Neither team is really going to be able to find anything just yet. Both of the DPS for both of these teams are gone, but it's still Rock, the tank extraordinaire, the Winston genius, showing us exactly how this hero is supposed to be played and getting all of the picks to go along with it.
So Army West Point continues to hold on, but GG Dax saying, hey, I'm not going to let go of this one just yet. I know TJ is very, very low, and we're going to take down that Lucio, take down the mobility for Army West Point. So it gives them a bit of an opportunity here, but as we get into this sort of free-for-all situation here, team deathmatch kind of vibes, we are trading back and forth, which is going to continue to benefit Army West Point as their percentage ticks up, and the Nano is in the nick of time.
in the nick of time. I couldn't have said it better myself, but still, Destroyer is going to pay the ultimate price for getting that nano boost out there. Rock, however, another Primal Rage. We saw this save the day for Army West Point. It has flipped, but they're still alive. They're still going to try and fight this out. The artillery strike comes in and blows Rom King to Kingdom Come. Now Rock, again, has to do the impossible, has to hold on here for the team, but time is running out. The numbers are running low. The possibilities have fallen with them gone, and Comrade Doge showing us again the blade has been pulled. Maris is going to get round 2, not quite as clean as Army West Point's round 1, but hey, 1-1 is still better than 2-0.
A great effort by Rock, but just overpowered at the end there. So it's just going to come down to University, which is, unlike the other 2 maps that are pretty open, much more closed in, much less space to work with. It has a lot of a different vibe as the other 2 maps, so we're going to be seeing both teams make some changes here to try and go for a more close range comp. We did see GG Dax briefly go for the Junker Queen on City Center. Here's a great second chance for that composition to work out. Meanwhile, Army West Point are going to go back onto this Zarya comp that fooled Maris the first time. We'll see if this matchup goes the same way again.
For Maris' sake, they're going to hope that it doesn't. Of course, for Army West Point looking to make that happen. State Mold on the Cassidy this time around, and Destroyer already. It's going to be able to put things down into the ground. It's a back and forth again. These 2 teams, when they butt heads against each other, you never know who's quite going to get the edge here, dividing. I mean, look at that. Finally, though, Army West Point is going to be the one to come out on top in the pick favor, and that, of course, is going to give them this first point.
Yeah, Army West Point has a ton of burst damage here with Shiz and Stayed Mold, and you saw Caesar Salad went a little bit aggressive going for a boop, ends up getting called out for it, and then Army West Point are able to use their Lucio. But now more swaps from Maris. They go, okay, we're going to go back to the Winston yet again, try and challenge for this high ground, and it's working.
It really is. GG Dax so far on this Winston has really proved to be the spearhead for this team, able to get into the back line, not quite able to find the success, hit with a sticky nade, and then clean headshots from Stayed Mold to seal the deal there for that. And the way that Army West Point is able to get their recovery, not quite able to save Rock's life, but at the very least, they're saving the point.
Oh, but no, they aren't. Maris actually forces them off just long enough to get the flip. So even if Army West Point takes it back, this is going to be 10-15% that Army West Point aren't going to be getting towards their total. That could be crucial a little bit down the line, but Army West Point, they clean things up, they flip it back in their favor, and they are still pretty commandingly in the lead right now, 40% to 10. Now, we're starting to enter the ultimate stage of the game, though. Multiple players on both sides about to come up on those abilities. I'm definitely looking at Stayed Mold and the beat from TJ on Army West Point. Can you combo those together to get a pick?
That Cassidy a little bit more time for that Deadeye, a little bit more of that safety net to make sure they survive, but they may not even need to use any ultimates here. Caesar Salad getting picked off initially, and Comrade Doge is having difficulties trying to decide when they exactly want to go into that back line, just building up more and more towards that blade, but the more time that they take, the more that Army West Point is falling, and DJ's just going to go ahead and expend the beat.
Yeah, I mean, this is the second time in this round that Caesar Salad got taken out early on in the game, maybe playing a little bit too aggressive and getting called out for it. Because, yeah, Army West Point were able to easily use that beat advantage. But Maris coming back in this one with a bunch more ultimates in. They engage with the rush.
Engage with the rush, but the Deadeye does not miss. The 2 characters who pop the ultimates, the 2 players are the ones who are gonna fall. What a recovery from Army West Point when the ultimates were in their face.
No shield on the side of Maris leaves an open lane for Stayed Mold to all but secure Oasis for Army West Point. A 2-1 victory. A tough one, a close one, but Army reigns supreme for now.
And what a way that they played it. I honestly, dividing it's just punishing, right? Punishing the over-aggressiveness. Especially when you look at Caesar Salad on that Lucio. Being the initial pick time and time again, that was... It's so vital that Lucio stays alive for Maris. It gives him that maneuverability, the way to skirt around the map. And Junker Queen without that speed boost really starts to suffer in massive ways. And that's where Army West Point, especially in that final map, was able to find success over and over and over again. And sure, they may have lost the point for a second, but did they really lose the point, right? The percentage may say otherwise, but with what happened there, Army West Point just felt in control the entire time.
Yeah, it was just kind of a, hey, you can have it for a moment. Never mind, we're taking it right back, right? Yeah, it was a very nice control from Army West Point, knowing when to bend but not break in that situation. And you're absolutely right. When Maris comes out with the Junker Queen, you have to play fast. You have to play aggressive. You can't let the Cassidy and the Junkrat of Army West Point stay at their preferred mid-ranges. You're going to get out-dueled pretty much every time, and that is exactly what happened to Maris right there. Now, we do get a very quick second map pick. It is going to be King's Row for Marist, and hey, if you want to make things up close and personal, this is the map to do it.
Exactly, but now we're looking towards Maris, making sure that, all right, we need to stay alive, right? We can't give them those early picks on us. Otherwise, it's just going to make things so much more difficult than it really needs to be. Army West Point, though, coming hot off of that victory, it was, like you said, though, a pretty close matchup still at the end of the day. Round 2, not quite going their way. It was a difficult match, and that's the kind of energy that Maris needs to keep putting out there, right? That's the kind of energy that Maris needs to recapture. Otherwise, it's just going to continue that snowball effect if Army West Point is able to take that from Oasis here onto Kings Row. But with this being their map choice, hopefully Maris feeling that confidence once more.
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, I definitely wouldn't be too deflated after that first map. You definitely had your moments. You took a round off of Army West Point. Getting back into this one with your map pick is definitely possible. Now, Sam, I did want to ask you before we get into it, as we start going into Kings Row, we saw the Jungle Queen comp a couple of times from Marist, didn't end up working out. So, do you continue to try and run it here on Kings Row, or do you change to the traditional Rhine, or maybe the more meta Orisa that has been taking over right now? There's a lot of options here, and I'm curious if you think they should stick with the Junker Queen or go with something else.
Honestly, with what we saw from the Junker Queen, right, it did have its merits, and it was something that we saw them initially go with on that round 1. Round 2 obviously needed to change things up. You had to go Winston with the way the Gardens plays out, but then they brought out the Junker Queen again. But it really does come down to, I think, as long as you're able to have your Lucio still with you, bringing you that extra speed boost, you'll be able to get that success. However, though, Marist dividing. They're not going with that Junker Queen from what we see so far in their picks.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing, well, as long as they stick with it, this is a composition that has the ability to just melt away Army West Point. If Dax is able to keep a bone safe behind that shield to just output so much damage, that would be huge. It's also worth mentioning that we do see a sub in for Army West Point. Mulan comes in for Destroyer on that support role, immediately comes in, starts playing the Mercy, so it might be a bit of a specialist role here, trying to pocket Stayed Mold or Shiz. Right now it's Shiz.
Still trying to make their way through that gateway, though. Maris is already getting hammered by Shiz on this Junkrat. So much damage being taken onto the Reinhardt shield, and an early immortality field being expended just to be able to get them actually looking towards that site. But now we're seeing the turret form come out. Needs to break through as quickly as it can. Oh, the immortality fields have been used. Army West Point didn't hold up there for too long. That was a bone, seeing an opportunity and going right for it. But the revive is going to undo the damage, and they're gritting their teeth in frustration. Still trying to fight this out. Up on the high ground, though, denying vision for Shiz with that wall. But you're seeing that Maris has to get out of there. GG Dax falls. Army West Point should be able to hold on here.
It should be able to. Immortality field used from Rom King. Very quick build up of there, but no one is around to take advantage of it. I think that's one that Maris wishes that they're going to have back, especially that Army West Point is coming up with all 5 of their ultimates. They're all going to come up in this next fight very, very quickly. While Maris has 3 ults of their own, Army West Point theoretically has the firepower to continue holding them off.
Maris was so close to getting that. I think if there was a little bit more coordination when Rock was down, they could have potentially gotten that point right then and there. But we are seeing the ultimates online. I mean, Army West Point has the full kit and caboodle. They're going to have to contend with this tire, and now that's just going to immediately put the brakes on whatever Maris was going to be attempting. Shiz, a rip tire of their dreams.
Beautifully done, and Immortality Field comes out just a little bit too late to save Maris. And look at this now, Sam. The remaining members of Maris are kind of trapped here. GG Dax is going to use the Shatter to try and escape, and it's actually going to force the ult out of Rock. Gets taken down. Okay, Maris has gone back with the rest of their team, with the Blizzard, with an opportunity to take point A.
There we go. The recognition, but still, Rocket's gonna come back alive. The only thing that is unfortunate for them is they're coming back to a team that might not even be there anymore. Save Mold needed to get out of there, but they're not gonna be able to. This is gonna be Maris taking point A with 4 minutes on the clock now.
Ooh, that was a huge sigh of relief for Marist fans out there, because that was very close to going very bad with the remaining members of Marist being staggered off. But thanks to some quick thinking from Dax, you managed to push Army West Point off balance and get yourself the advantage when your respawns came in. And not only do you have 4 minutes on the clock, you still have 3 ultimates to work with. For the first time in this attack, it feels like they do have the ultimate advantage over Army, who are just working with the Amp Matrix and the High Noon right now.
And most importantly, they've got through the archway an annoying choke point that if you don't get caught there can hurt you so much. Now we're going to see the artillery strike from a bone really just trying to create more space, push back. The ball comes up, and now we're seeing the Amp Matrix from TJ on that high ground, but so much damage came their way that they need to go ahead and abandon that. But she didn't give it to the team. Now Shiz, another Rip Tire comes out, trying to find their target, has found land onto a bone. Now with Maris down there, Bastion, it's going to be the maneuver to get out quick.
Really nice awareness from Shiz there, realizing that, hey, the Bastion is most of the damage, so we can stabilize if we take him out quick. And that's exactly what Army West Point's going to do. But Maris is coming back into this one very quickly, and Comrade Doge very close to that Blizzard.
Ooh, and a good little bit of recognition from them as well, realizing Rock so separated from the rest of the team, puts up the wall. It's still not going to be good enough to take them down, but you did do a heck of a lot of damage.
Oh,
Rock
Shiz
has an annihilation, and now we're seeing Caesar finally getting their revenge. Another wall comes up, and now potentially the Blizzard to go along with it needs to stop this annihilation that's starting to tear through their back line. But Rock, away from the rest of the team, State Mold is going to use the Deadeye in order to make sure that they're able to survive through it, and this is going to give Rock even more ample opportunity to start going in through the back line. GG Dax is looking for that right
Shatter!
moment. The time has happened as the ground quakes beneath Rock's feet, and now a giant angry German man in armor pins them down into the ground. A bone finding a double kill of their own. GG Dax just swinging to victory. Maris looking towards point B.
That might have been the most impressive fight I've seen from Maris so far today. Army West Point dumps 4 ultimates into that fight, and Maris just sits there and takes it. They sustain through it. Nobody dies. GG Dax does not use the Shatter until they know that the coast is clear, and it opens the door for Maris to take point B. 3 minutes on the clock, a very healthy time bank. Even though you do lose Caesar Salad to a rogue projectile from Stayed Mold, you're still feeling very good. The point is moving. You'll have the Bastion ult in this next fight as well. Now, I do want to put some pressure onto Rom King here. You have to use the Immortality Field well to counter the upcoming Rip Tire from Shiz.
Shiz has gotten a lot of value out of that tire twice now so far. At the very least, it's going to stall things out a little bit more for them now. The artillery strike comes in, but again, Shiz, it's over and over. 2 kills in that 1 tire.
Yeah, and Rom King forced to use the Immortality Field early in the fight to even have a chance of staying in it. So Maris ends up getting outplayed on that one a bit, just out-damaged, outgunned. As here's the high ground yet again for Shiz, just stationed up there, not a care in the world, and no one really on Maris who's going to be able to go up there and deal with it very easily.
No, not at all, but still we're going to see a bone finding that early initial pick and give, at the very least, Mulan the opportunity to get the res off, and they're going to expend the Immortality Field. No risk being taken here. Another artillery strike goes out. Maris is still going to feel the pressure as Wrong King falls. GG Dax is going to take a one-way trip, proving to us that gravity is still a factor, but the Blizzard has been used. A bone, a triple kill. Maris is going to try and fight this out, but how much more can you expect from
Battle Mercy?
Lucio?
Get him!
Like he said, Mulan, whipping out the pistol.
Here comes the Hurricane as Mulan gets the remaining kills necessary to keep this defense alive for Army West Point. Beautifully done. And you do manage to hold on to the amplification matrix from TJ as well, which is huge with only less than 90 seconds to go. Every single ultimate is massive at this point. You might be able to make these grenades from Shiz even more deadly from high ground.
All right, here it goes, though. The
Earth Shatter drops along with the artillery strike to try and combo with each other, but not quite yet are we getting the kills until just now. A bone. This is a Maris massacre onto Army West Point. The finish line is in sight, but Army West Point does have a moment to contest. Maybe?
No. Oh, they're just not there in time. If they were able to get a contest off, they had the Riptire, the Rampage, and the Amp Matrix. There was an opportunity there if they could get that touch, but yeah, like you said, the Maris Massacre was just so strong, there was no one that was going to be there in time. So Maris is going to cap with 48 seconds on the clock and an opportunity on this defense to tie the series up if they can stop Army West Point at any point in that map. And I gotta say, they looked very good on that Rhine composition. I think they had a really good understanding of how to play around. I think the designs of the characters make it a lot easier to play around. Everyone understands, okay, we're all just gonna crowd around the Reinhardt, we're all gonna move as one, and taking a little bit of the complexity out of your comp might just be what the doctor ordered here for Maris. So they're going to be running the exact same thing on their defense. Army West Point have some time to change things up, but we'll see if they decide to stick with the Mercy or if they decide to go with potentially a Lucio-based composition that'll let them run around a little faster.
Yeah, something to break through the impenetrable attack of Maris, and so far we've seen the synergy coming out of this team is almost unreal, the way that they're able to play with each other, and it feels like the combinations that they're looking towards has been next level this time around on Kings Row. They were struggling to find that on Oasis, and now Army West Point is starting to struggle to find that synergy of their own to punch through Maris, but they need to find that, otherwise Maris is going to tie things up here.
Army West Point going for an Ana Baptiste composition. Very high healing, very high utility with the sleeps and the antis and the immortality fields, but you do not have that Lucio speed boost, which a lot of teams really depend upon to close in on this first point. Army West Point are just kind of going to have to play around, kind of skirt around the edges of the point here and try and attack from mid-range.
Yeah, they're looking to go up onto the second floor, theater. Still looking to fight it out. Now back down into the alley. That is going to be the early first pick, and a beautiful anti-nade from Mulan. Maris just could not fight against it. Army West Point got the picks that they need and should be able to wipe up the rest.
I mean, Maris just got a little bit baited there. They thought everyone was jumping down to try and rotate onto the far high ground, but only Rock, I think, jumped down there, and maybe a couple other members of Army, and because of that, the separated members of Maris end up getting taken down. But Maris are posturing to try and get back into this one, perhaps, with the amplification matrix already used.
Yeah, they're still looking to butt their head, but GG Dax left by Move On again, and now comes the tire. It is blowing Maris away. Army West Point, little bit of trouble, but point A came back to them.
5 minutes on the clock as well, full minute ahead of where Maris was at this point. So very well done from Army. They only have to use the Riptire in order to secure that first point, which means you're going to have that all-important grab in this next one. You're going to be able to amplify any damage going into that grab with the amplification matrix. And Maris are looking a little bit depleted. They used a couple of ultimates to try and stay in that first point, and now once again Army West Point are going to get right past that archway, and they have a huge ultimate advantage to keep on pushing. Could be just a very quick point B push if Army West Point plays it right.
That's what it's feeling like here, and already we're seeing this corner around the cold sword. GG Dax, no more shield. Immortality field needing to be used. They're able to get away. GG Dax can survive for another day, but how much longer without that anti-nade and without Rom King to keep them alive? Save Mold has paid for their transgressions, and now we're seeing the artillery strike come in. A close moment for a bone, but out comes
big
the
wall
stone barrier, and a beautiful wall from Comrade Doge sends Rock right back to the spot.
Wow, I think Army West Point got a little bit of paralysis analysis right there. They were looking for the perfect time to use their ultimates, but end up running out of time to use any of them. Now the silver lining here is that all 4 of their ultimates are up here, and Shiz only needs a little bit more damage to get his as well. So Army West Point probably will have all 5 of their ults here. Don't overthink it, guys. One more fight will get you that time extension. Just make sure you use the ults to get it done.
It's right there. In front of them, they have almost all the ultimates in their pockets. Army West Point needs to find that opening though, and Maris is very doggedly not giving it to them. These ultimates could be what they need. Now we have the nano visor coming in. The immortality field has to go up. It needs to be able to make sure that they can survive through this. Draw out as much as you can, but now we have the tire once more. Comrade Doge blown up. Blizzard taken out of this fight. Army West Point using ultimates as best they can. Rock still has that Graviton Surge until it's been used just now. GG Dax so close, but nothing to keep them alive, to keep them going. A Bone is still gonna fight it out here. Rock may have fallen, but the rest of Army West Point is able to get this payload to point B.
Again, they didn't overthink it. Everyone except TJ presses Q, and they have the firepower to get it done. In fact, I don't know if they were ult tracking it, but taking out Comrade Doge early in that fight so you don't have the Blizzard in defense is absolutely massive, and might have been the pick that ended up turning the scales for West Point here. So with 4 minutes on the clock and 1 corner already passed, Army West Point have a great opportunity, but the shatter from GG Dax, Shiz, the biggest damage dealer on Army West Point, out of the fight.
Blows them away, brings them to their knees. Army West Point though, they're not giving this up too easily. They're still at this forward position. But Comrade Doge has the Blizzard in their pockets. Potentially could combo this with a Bones artillery strike, but now we're going to see the amplification matrix from Rom King. And this is just full speed ahead. GG Dax wanted to find it out there. Comrade Doge, a little bit low, needing to pop the ice, but still able to put out the Blizzard. GG Dax getting the kill onto TJ. And now Marist getting their picks that they need. Army West Point unraveling.
Yeah, Maris has had the ultimate so far to be able to repel Army West Point, but they're getting back up to them themselves now. Sademold Shiz already there. Mulan has the ult now. Rock only about 30% away. Now, you did end up losing the Zarya shard, so it's going to take a minute to get back to that damage, but Army West Point now with a great opportunity here. Their ult bank has recovered.
Sademold is going to go ahead and use a naked visor, seeing maybe if they can find that pick anywhere. In comes the artillery strike though. And now a little bit of a safety net with that sound barrier from Caesar Salad. A Bone goes in, finds their picks, and Maris continues to tug at the thread. That puts Army West Point in such difficult positions. And even a bit of better news for them here fighting, use the nano boost.
Yeah. Couple ults used, the nano boost and the visor used from Army West Point to no avail. Now you do have the grab of Riptire combo, both of which have been very effective so far this game, but Rom King, as long as you're able to hang on to that immortality field until that happens, you should be able to repel it.
The other difficult part here for Army West Point is even though if they win out this team fight, they still have to go so much of that distance. And like you said, there it is, Rom King, beautiful timing. Immortality field saves the day, and now Army West Point has used both of their ultimates. GG Dax is not going to survive out throughout the initial points of this team fight, and this is going to force Maris to try and get out of there. The amplification matrix stalls it out for a moment, but the moment is all they were able to purchase.
Yeah, but this is the best opportunity that Army West Point has had so far, so they're going to continue to push on it. Rock is charged up and ready to go. GG Dax with the shatter available. When are you going to decide to let it go? There's no big shields on the side of Maris, so as long as you get it under the payload and it doesn't get anything, I think Rock with the bubble blocked most of it.
Yeah, Rock did. That was like last second right there. My Doge is still going to try and right the wrongs of that Earth Shatter, but that is Rock almost fully charged. Very scary. A Bone thankfully is there to save the day. Not too much more before Rock gets their revenge, but not much more can be said after that as Rock is still trying to battle it out here. Alive for a little bit longer. It's just going to go ahead and throw out the Graviton Surge. No one from Army West Point can take advantage of it.
And now a 4-minute time bank for Army West Point has whittled down to just 30 seconds. They have 4 ultimates here, but they're probably going to have to win 2 fights with the amount of distance between the cart and the end of the map. Their Rock swaps over to Junker Queen, trying to get on the point even faster. Everyone else on this Army West Point roster has their ultimates, though. The firepower is there. Can they execute?
We'll see if they can. They're already going to have some difficulties with that execution, needing to use the Immortality Field with that artillery strike. A Bone has all of this overhealing, all of the targets, all of the amplification matrix, and Maris is going to have map 2, King's Row.
It was so quick, such a fast final fight that Army didn't even have a chance to use those ultimates. Beautifully done. When Army West Point tries to go aggressive, Mara says, we're going to up the tempo even more. And they are going to take the finishing blow here on Kings Row. They're going to even up the series 1-1. And I don't know, Sam, if I were Maris right now, I'd be looking to play into that Ryan comp more often.
I couldn't agree with you more, right? We go back to what you were saying. It's a simpler composition, right? And I think that's where Maris, they found the beauty in its simplicity. It was this synergy coming out of this team as well. Some of those walls from Comrade Doge were literal game changers. They were map-saving walls coming out from that one player. And Army West Point, you saw the moments of brilliance coming out of them, and it looked like they were able to get some footholds here and there, but the way that Maris was able to get the recovery, right? They burned 4 minutes off the clock. A really strong point A, a pretty decent point B, but a point C that was stalled out almost entirely by Maris. But now we look towards map 3, Circuit Royale. This is a map that it's a little bit different when you think about the escort maps, right? This is a map that really favors that Sigma style poke composition that we haven't seen from either of these teams, really.
Yeah, it could be very interesting to see, of course, yet another new composition come out from both sides. So these kind of pokey-based compositions, it hasn't been something we've seen really from either side. Potentially some snipers coming out. I would be really interested to see what ends up happening there. If Maris is able to get something done on this map, then I feel a lot more confident about their prospects going into the later stages of this series, which is going to go pretty long if the first 2 maps were any indication. And I just need to know from Maris that they are comfortable enough to win in more ways than just the Rhine. Because if you're really depending on the Rhine to get map wins, that does limit you on the maps that you could even possibly win on.
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to see that with Circuit Royale, right? Maybe that's what Army West Point had in their head. If we take away Reinhardt, we could potentially take away Maris' capabilities of winning. The good thing is that we have seen Maris be able to win out on compositions that don't rely on the Reinhardt, right? We saw that on round 2 of Oasis. So if they can do the same things that they've been able to do with this Reinhardt, with that Winston, with Sigma, then hopefully Maris can find that. But Army West Point has also proven to be a really strong competitor across a multitude of different tank compositions so far. It was just that Reinhardt was a little bit difficult, but hey, what Army West Point? We've seen Zarya, we've seen Junker Queen, we've seen Ramatra, we've seen a bevy of different tanks from this one team.
Yeah, it's been a lot more flexible kind of play coming out from Army West Point, and we'll see if that ends up coming in for them. Now, we do have several swaps coming in from both sides, actually. We're going to have Destroyer coming in for TJ this time on the side of Army West Point, so they're kind of switching around their supports once again. Meanwhile, Bear is going to be coming in for Caesar Salad, and CM Spoon for Shiz. Now, I'm a little surprised to see Shiz coming out after having such a big impact in that last map. But if you are trying to go for like a double sniper composition and you have more confidence on potentially these 2 players being on hit scan, this is definitely the map to do it.
Yeah, exactly. This is the moment where you really have to start messing with things. And like we said, if you have that flexibility, go ahead and flex it. There's no reason to take any of these risks. There's no reason to try and leave things up to to potential chance. And so every little single piece that needs to be put into this puzzle needs to be expended. And Army West Point looking like they have that idea in their head, as does Maris. Both of these teams really looking towards whatever they can do to get this win, because now we're at that 1-1, right? Both of these teams are still sitting at that 1-0 scoreline here in week 2 of ECAC. Neither of them are going to want to walk away with that loss. And even more so for Maris, being able to get a win on their first week of actual play would be a huge boon in their pocket.
It would be absolutely massive. And of course, this is a lot of people call it like momentum point, right? When you're at 1-1, you're at map 3, it's a fight. No one's winning yet, but it's a fight to be the first team to get on the match point. It puts tons and tons of pressure onto the losing team here, because then they have to win 2 games in a row in order to be able to take the series by itself. Meanwhile, the other team can rest a little bit easier knowing that they are just 1 game away. So Here we go, back into the match. Marist rocking just 1 sub in, and Army West Point with 2. Both sides looking to run a pretty different composition immediately here, Sam. I'm seeing Widows on both sides. So Abone and CM Spoon are going to be fighting it out for that Widow supremacy. That'll be something to watch in the kill feed.
It really will be. It's always fun to have these Widowmaker duels going up against each other. And of course, always a lot of fun to seeing the headshots themselves. Army West Point, though, this is a interesting look for them here on what is this Sigma-style poke map that we see a lot, but looking to try out a little bit of a dive for themselves. Rock on that. Winston and Stayed Mold with the Genji. We're already going to see Rock come out quickly. A Bone pushed away. Not going to get too much out of the territory and headshots, but the headshot onto Rock is going to put a lot of pain onto this Gorilla.
Well, what it does is it gives Destroyer a quick 20% ult charge to that nano boost. So you're not feeling too bad about it right now. And another big headshot on the jump from Rock, puts a lot of pressure on that Winston to start. But a Bone is going to end up going down because of it. A nicely executed dive from Army West Point. Going to give them a huge advantage in the first fight. This double sniper comp, this meta comp in Circuit Royale is going to crumble and fall as Army West Point comes out with supremacy early on.
That was supremacy dividing, right? It was basically keep them inside of that room and just let Rock have fun. And then CM Spoon picks up any stragglers that dares to come outside. It felt like Dax couldn't really find any foothold to actually be able to protect the team. And now they're pushed back. Army West Point is gaining so much ground.
They're getting a ton of ground, actually pushing up to the top. A Rock overextends. Bear takes him out. Beautifully done by Maris, and this is a massive opportunity.
Oh, the opportunity just continues to grow more and more. A Bone getting the headshot of the Destroyer. Army West Point, you can see they're just trying to get the heck out of dodge. It was like you said, that overextension punished immensely onto Rock. Army West Point had it almost in their pockets, but Maris, it's this recovery from this team time and time again.
Yeah, they just got a little bit too greedy there, and that's going to allow Maris to get set up on these positions yet again. A Bone not with a high ground, but still has a great opportunity here to try and pick off Stayed Mold, who just used that deflect. We're doing a very good job of trying to stay scarce, stay out of that sight line.
Very scary for a Bone. Bit of low health. There it goes! Using that thermal sight, seeing exactly where their target is. And they're able to rip their heads right off. A Bone's gonna find a second pick. Rom King getting landed right on top of by Rock. Gonna throw out the anti-nade. The primal raging monkey is still throwing hands over and over. No peel to save their life. Stayed Mold, the combination was just too much for Maris to stay alive through. GG Dax has to do this by themselves, but alone, no support proved to be too much. Army West Point to be able to take point A.
This support line for Maris is proving to be a bit of a problem here. Because GG Dax is on the Sigma, you don't really have a tank or really a DPS that's going to be able to effectively peel for the supports when they get dove on. So it's up to Rom King and Bear to be able to repel divers off of each other. And for two supports whose main plan for divers is just kill them before they kill you, that's not going to be enough when Rock or Stayed Mold is right on top of you, especially not when the blade from Stayed Mold is online.
Oh yes, it's online and it's ready to start cutting down anyone in front of them. 2 to go along with it. Comrade Doge has been given the nano boost, but nothing is going to be given to this Torbjorn. Comrade Doge trying to get away, but only sees death right in front of them.
It's going to take another fight probably in order to take point B, but this is beautiful positioning from Army West Point right now, just making sure the Maris can't even try to contest this high ground. I mean, this is really deep for Stayed Mold, but knows that you probably have the ability with the dash coming back offline to get back if needed.
Of course, getting that point B, but now Maris is going to fight it out. A Mulan Kitsune rush, though, could be the key here to Army West Point's success, and you've got the Transcendence out of Bear. GG Dax desperately trying to get anything, but the desperation breeds mistakes, and GG Dax making the poor mistake of dying, but the trade is going to happen from Maris. They're getting the picks. They might actually be able to pull this off here. Stayed Mold may be hit with a nano boost, but no play to go along with it. Needs to try and get the picks that they can find here, but no, Maris is going to deny them 2.54
4 meters from point B.
That is huge from Maris being able to get back just in time. Even with all the ultimates committed from Army West Point, now they're going to be able to get that high ground. They're going to be able to just rain pain from Comrade Doge and a bone from the high ground. This is nightmare scenario from Army West Point to have just 2 minutes to try and get that fight win and are now staring up a massive mountain.
They really are. CM Spoon does have this overclock, but same can be said for a bone. 2 Sojourns overclocking against each other. Which one is going to come out on top? Which one's going to use it first? The openings need to be found here. And CM Spoon, well, they're not going to be finding anything except for a bone railgun shot. Winning out in this mirror matchup now. RB West Point, where they had everything in their palm of their hands, they're actually gripping tighter. May be able to get this back here with the efforts of Rock on this Zarya. And of course, Stain Mold, the Genji extraordinaire. These 2 players have given Army West Point point B.
That was just so huge. I mean, Army were in a tough situation there. Not only do they get point B, they don't use any ultimates to do it. It was just players winning their 1v1s, and that's going to give Army West Point a 2.5 minute time bank heading into the final point. Not great, but not awful either. And they are going to have a bunch of ultimates. Now, I would really love to see Army West Point get Stable and Destroyer back on schedule here. But no, it is an early blade and it doesn't matter.
Graviton Surge put that out there. Save Mold has that Dragon Blade. It's going to fight it out. GG Dax in a move of desperation, maybe to switch off tanks here. Goes ahead and rampages out there. But Maris, that falls apart. Army West Point expended 2 ultimates to win that.
They did. But so did Maris. They used 2 ultimates to try and defend it. And that doesn't end up working out for them. GG Dax trying to figure out what to do now. Goes back onto the Sigma. And, oh, Stain Mold overstays his welcome a little bit. A bone's going to take him out. And that's going to give a big opportunity for Maris to potentially hold here without using any of their DPS ults.
All right, now we're going to see what GG Dax can do in a little bit more of a close quarter situation. Rock's bubbles keeping them alive at moments where death should be coming in. Another one comes up, taken down. Destroyer doing a phenomenal job at whatever it takes to keep their tank alive, and alive they are until a bone walks through. CM Spoon, an overclock into their face, but of course the nano boost in the back pocket, not choosing to expend it here. 1 in favor of this overclock at such an early point. Army West Point backing off and let Maris have this space.
1 minute left on the clock, but Army West Point aren't going to be staying back for long with both support ults to grab and the overclock on their side. They have the firepower necessary. They just have to make it work. Then can they get this done like in King's Row? Maris though doesn't have the aggressive comp as before, so they're probably just going to have to hang back and let Army West Point set up these ults.
Time continues to tick down for Army West Point, but with all the ultimates in their pockets, well, at least 1 less for Maris to worry about.
You got it back. You got it back.
Early, and it's like you said, they gotta get out of there.
30 seconds left on the clock. You have just enough time to get your Sojourn back onto the field before you go in for the one, but you lose Rock, you lose the grab. The kicks keep coming through from Maris in the worst way possible. Now they're gonna try and get through the pain.
That's a little bit of a bright spot there. GG Dax wasn't able to get the Griffin and Flux. No one caught sight of it, but it doesn't really matter. Save Mold gets taken out. CM Spoon's gonna try and save the day, going into the back line, using this overclock. Maybe be able to get the pick, another pick, after they got one onto Bear, but no, it seems like, yeah, actually, yes, they are. Another Disruptor shot goes through, and CM Spoon is gonna be the hero to keep the dream alive for Army West Point here inside of overtime. Last one standing here for Maris. GG Dax is going to try and hold it out here, but they need to get out. Otherwise, it's going to be disastrous.
Maris just could not finish the kill, and now Army West Point are threatening a finish, and oh no, the Transcendence isn't there in time to save GG Dax. It's all going to come down to this overclock from a bone. Finds 2, finds another. It's just Rock on the point with a sliver of health. The overtime wick burns away incredibly fast, and from one Sojourn clutch to another, Maris holds on. Army West Point fails to complete circuit.
2-2, switching sides.
The Sojourns tonight. I don't know what's going on between these two, but one we're trying to go up against the other, and it's a bone, I think, though, that really should be, I guess, put up on the first place pedestal of the Sojourn clutches. That was the moment where they needed to do something, and they did exactly that.
Yeah.
It was 2 overclocks as well, right? 2 overclocks that each of these Sojourners needed to use. CM Spoon got the picks that they needed in a really dangerous position as well. They've lost their tank. They lost everything. And then it was kind of a deja vu moment because it was the same thing that happened for Maris. A Bone had to use an overclock, a desperation overclock, I guess, for when they lost GG Dax, and still came out on the other side smelling like roses and saving the day for Maris, preventing Army West Point from clutching out point C.
So now as we head into the Maris attack, we do see a couple of changes here from Army West Point. They're going to bring out the Ashe for the first time, probably going to be pocketed by Mulan on this Mercy. So a Mercy pocketed Ashe is almost as deadly as a Widowmaker. And actually, I don't know if there's this good scouting from Maris, but a Bone is thinking the same thing. So these Dynamites are going to be big, and Maris is also going to be running the dive again, including the Lucio from Bear. So you're swapping the healing and like sleep from an Ana, and instead you're gonna just be trying to jump as fast as possible.
Yeah, and the speed is starting to come in here. It's going right on top of Stade Mold as quick as you possibly can, but Army West Point, cognizant of what's happening here, is not gonna let Maris get away with murder like they did onto them in round 1. Comrade Doge taken out immediately before anything was done. Army West Point gonna keep Maris on the ground.
The speed does not end up helping out Maris early as, yeah, now here come the picks. Bear is down. You don't have the speed boost anymore. And Comrade Doge is going to go down for the second time in this very early Maris attack. Maris has to try and get back to spawn, come up with another plan here, because it seems like surprising Army West Point with that Lucio speed has not worked. You're going to get a swap from Comrade Doge. You're going to get a swap from GG Dax onto a more traditional composition. I feel like you really need Bear to switch, and there it is. Okay, not only I would argue this is quadruple sniper right now with Kiriko Zen. Yeah, this is as long range as it gets.
I couldn't agree with you more, and it was just so tough for Maris to actually get those picks right onto Army West Point, because the second Army West Point felt any pressure, you push down onto the stairs and a Bone couldn't get any damage of their own. That's taking away so much from Maris. And up in the air, Mulan is gonna hang out up here at the time of their life. Feeling kind of pretty safe up there. Stade Mold gets another pick, and CM Spoon is gonna follow that up. The headshot home of these BS, able to click the heads appropriately where needed. Maris is just not able to gain much foothold.
I mean, because they swapped around their comp so much, there's kind of forgoes the ult charges, so it lets Mulan use the power boost from the Valkyrie pretty much uncontested, and Army West Point uses it to full effect here. But here is the best opportunity that Maris has right now with Stade Mold going down. It's going to force an early res out of Mulan.
Bone does have Bob ready to go, but so does Army West Point, along with 3 others in their pockets. And Maris is really going to start feeling the pressures of that. And the Grecian Rock goes in their face, but the shield comes up before GG Dax is able to return the favor. Now we're going to see the Kitsune rush, but the overclock from CM Spoon, given that nano boost, extra damage is just too much for Maris to stay alive with. And that is going to be Army West Point pushing them back into the spawn room again.
This has been a rough attack so far for Maris, and it could be over prematurely here. A Bone's gonna swap over onto the Widowmaker. Superior range, but can you get around the Sigma shield of Rock? It's gonna be difficult. You're now acutely aware, if you're Army West Point, that the Widow is there, and you are very much trying to stay out of those sight lines if you are anyone not named Rock. Now, Maris is coming into this one with the Gravitic Flux and no good ult on the other side to counter it. That if GG Dax can catch someone out with that, that could be the opening.
Could be the opening. They just need to be able to get there until the Bone maybe finds an opening of their own. Mulan, that's gonna be a second one of Bone. There we have it, the picks, the kills, they're coming through. The Bob has been expended and is actually gonna find Ron King. The secret 5th player is coming to save the day for Army West Point. Stade Mold may not be there, but as long as Bob is, they can still fight this out. Destroyer falls, but puts down the sleek comp. It's still a Bone being alive that's going to be the difference maker here for Maris. They have their eyes on point A. It is this moment where they need to get this, and the Transcendence from Bear to really make sure that they are going to be able to get that. Mulan may hit the ball creep, but it's not going to be good enough to save point A.
Oh, and a Bone taking out Stade Mold at the end there is pretty big. Even though a Bone does go down to the Dynamite retroactively. The fact that there's no Ash up on the high ground anymore to challenge it means with point A capture, GG Dax is going to be able to just walk up to the top of Circuit Mountain extremely quickly, which is huge with only 2 minutes and some change on the board. Maris really has to make sure they take control of this choke point sooner rather than later.
Almost feels like it needs to be a speed run of point B than to get a sizable time bank. But for Maris, at the very least, they are looking at that where they were finding those symphonies. A bone on this Widowmaker was just the switch they needed. Another headshot comes through, but it's going to be traded out onto Comrade Doge. Up in the air, maybe another fly for the Gravitic Flux. Not going to take them out, 38 HP. Same can't be said for Bear. Not given this nano boost was exactly what the Doctor ordered. Army West Point in control of the payload.
Yeah, nicely done from Army West Point. They're able to repel the attempt from GG Dax to force Army West Point into their spawn, and now they've used a lot of their ultimates, but they have the high ground advantage, and a bone is going, knowing that, is going to swap off onto the more consistent Soldier 76. Now, once again, GG Dax is coming up on the Gravitic Flux. Can that be the opening here, as a lot of Army West Points kind of grouped up trying to take this, trying to use the sight lines that the high ground offers.
Time and time again, we're seeing those shields coming up, and now we have the Gravitic Flux. A lot of damage on the Sade Mold. They need to make sure that the revive from Mulan does go off, and they're doing a fantastic job of that, making sure it doesn't come through. Mulan getting hammered time and time again, and now GG Dax has fallen. Destroyer is gone too, but at the very least for Maris, Army West Point rather, with no tank on the side of Maris, a lot of that sustainability goes away, and Mulan is able to get the revive off on the Destroyer. It feels like a repeat of what happened on point A here, dividing.
And now a bit of desperation, it feels, from Maris, swapping things around. GG Dax thought, hey, maybe I go with the Orisa, goes back over onto the Sigma now. With 30 seconds left on the clock, Maris has one more good fight to try and take point B here, and they really don't have any ults yet. Comrade and Bear are somewhat close, but you have to play into CM Spoon, Stade Mold, and Rock, who has already taken out Bear. There's no way Transcendence is coming online now.
No, it's not. That is disastrous, put it lightly, here for Maris, and now they're scrambling to find ways, find openings, find trades, but no, Stade Mold wins out in the 1v1 duel against their mirror counterpart, and now with CM Spoon's overclock, they're gonna do it again!
Oh my
A three-piece! Another one from these Sojourns, and now the last second from Bear, the Lucio desperation. But now with overtime ticking away, Maris falls, Army West Point onto match point.
I would love to see some Sojourn stats on CM Spoon production if you can make that happen. That would be incredible, because this Sojourn player came up clutch over and over again. Came in cold, by the way, if you are just now watching. Was not playing the first 2 maps because they really wanted a projectile DPS player. Comes in, has not played yet for the day, and comes up clutch for Army West Point over and over again. That is a truly impressive, that's super impressive from them. It's difficult to be the 6th man on an Overwatch team who only gets to come in and play maybe a map or 2 every series, and CM Spoon definitely made the most of the opportunity.
What a way to show up, right? And especially with the shoes that they had to fill from Shiz. Shiz was doing a phenomenal job on the first 2 maps, right? Those Junkrat plays that they had were extraordinary on Kings Row, consistently getting value out of Tires time and time again. But then CM Spoon is like, all right, I have to do it. I got to do what I got to do, and I'm going to do it in ways that will make your jaw drop right down to the floor. And it was looking like things were going to be in dire straits for Army West Point, right? It was a point C, a final point that was denied to them, where we also saw a competing Sojourn from a Bone coming up in big ways of their own on a Sojourn.
Yeah,
Army West Point didn't see that as a negative. They just saw that as, all right, we need to right the ship, we need to batten down the hatches, and we can do this. And then they did. Now they're looking at series point.
So we don't have the graphic, but I do want to bring attention to the Sojourn stats. This is CM Spoon. Yes, 9,500 damage dealt, 36 elimination, 21 final blows. So the fact that over, I think about 2/3 of CM Spoon's eliminations as a final blow. Wild. This shows that that player was lethal with those railgun shots.
And not only were they lethal, but they felt like there were moments where it had to come down to CM Spoon.
Yeah.
And those moments, right, they can either make or break a player. And for this player, no, they were made. They were made out of diamonds, right? They were uncrushable. They were unbreakable. And that, giving them that momentum, sure, it may not have won them around, but it gives yourself that mental boost, that mental confidence to continue to carry that forward into the consecutive round and take things over and over again back into your favor. And now for Maris, there's so much pressure onto them here to be able to, like you said, that third map curse, kind of, where they had to win out on this map and then they had to win out on the next one. There's so much ahead of them to get this back in their favor. But Maris has shown us so far that if they have the opportunity, they can do it.
They absolutely can, but now their backs are against the wall and they have to, going into our fourth map of Colosseo. The push map, this is Maris' choice. Sam, the Colosseo pick, an interesting one. What do you think this says about Maris' plan going into map 4?
Right, you got to think about what Maris has been playing and why they've chosen Colosseo. It's a close quarters map, something very claustrophobic that they've been able to play around with. It's starting to feel like, okay, we're starting to get an idea of what Maris likes to play here. They were able to play a pretty decent Sigma, but I don't think that they played it quite as well as what we saw out of their Reinhardt play, or even out of their own Winston play on top of that. And we've seen multiple times the Junker Queen come out, but the Junker Queen just hasn't quite hit those same notes as well. So I wouldn't be surprised, though, if we see Reinhardt again here on Colosseo, but they're looking to still stick with that Junker Queen, which is also something that I was going to say next as well. This might be the map where they feel the most comfortable to be able to use this Junker Queen. They're looking to get that brawl here again, Divide.
Yeah. But look on the other side, Army West Point immediately going with this Zarya comp of their own. Now, the players around this Zarya are different. You're having Reaper from Stayed Mold for the first time, but this style of composition has beaten Maris Junker Queen comp every time they have played it so far. They have to make it work now, or it's just not going to happen.
No, it's not. We need to find that sort of guiding light here from Maris to get their victory, right? To get what they need. But Army West Point, time and time again, have just thrown this into their face over and over. And now being pushed back little bit by little bit. Army West Point is going to suffer a loss, though. GG Dax. There we go. Signs of life from this tank. They're going through the Junker Queen. Big.
Oh my gosh, that was, I think, 4 final blows from GG Dax in that fight. If that was, if there was any way to say, hey, the Junker Queen is here, it has happened. And Maris going into the second fight with a Bone, GG Dax, and Rom King, and Caesar Salad all above halfway to those ultimates is so massive. But a nice anti-nade Destroyer is going to force them back for the moment. Keep an eye out for Destroyer, 75% to the Nano already.
Could be what Army West Point needs to, at the very least, stall out this push from Maris, but they're gaining so much ground, already sitting at 40 meters. Stalled out for just a little bit more, and now walk to go in, build up with that Zarya charge, trying to get out of there, but now they're going to be given the nano boost. Very scary, especially at the charge percentage that they're at. Beautiful anti-nade onto GG Dax. Is going to be ripped through like a hot knife through butter. And Army West Point in control of this spot.
Yeah, very nicely done from Army West Point. Only had to use the nano on that one. Was able to just melt through the defenses of Maris. So they're going to be coming into this one with the other 4 ultimates most likely coming online. But with 5 ultimates in this next fight is Maris. So both teams with the option to kind of go nuclear here and just use all of their ults at once, or they could try and be more conservative.
We're going to see some of that conservative being thrown away. Rom King popping the Kitsune Rush already. Sage Mold is going to feel that in their face, but now we're going to have Comrade Doge waiting too. My word! A Deadly Blade, 2 ultimates from Maris, and now they're in control once more.
Slash and dash and slash goes Comrade Doge. Just a myriad of ghost slashes to tear apart Army West Point and expand on the lead. They're threatening to get those forward spawns, and they do still have 3 ultimates to use here. And But I do want to pay attention to TJ and Caesar Salad, the two Lucios, both with their beats. Who ends up having to use it first? Usually that's a team that ends up losing.
See if maybe TJ's gonna even be able to survive to use it. No, they're not. Abone really wanted to get into the base of Rock. Look how Rock is. You can't even see their health bar anymore. The shiz with that molten core. Oh, it's gonna set on fire Maris and Harvey West Point. Rock shouldn't have survived through that, to be honest.
That is insane, especially without a Lucio there. You didn't have a beat to save the Zarya. By all counts, Rock should not be alive, but Army West Point are going to be able to ping-pong the bot back towards their barrier, but they need to get another fight win in order to really threaten this Maris lead. They have both support ultimates right now, but you are playing into the Abone overclock that was so huge in the past map.
And now Rock has been given the nano boost again, sitting at a pretty 100 charge. Is scaring Maris like the boogeyman that they are, but still a mountain's worth of damage has come their way, forcing them back. And now the Rampage comes in, but instead it just sends GG Dax ragdolling right into the bot. And now without a tank, Maris nowhere to go. TJ is gonna pop the sound barrier and let that be the charge, the bugle to continue to push them forward once more. And now Army West Point so close to taking the lead.
Yeah, I think they might just be able to do it here. GG Dax is back with the commanding shout. It's going to be able to make everyone fast, and the Kitsune Rush making them faster still. The overclock going even quicker. Everyone is oiled up and ready to go as Abone is uncontested with this overclock and ends up cleaning up Army West Point 2 meters before they take the lead. It took everything in their bank, Sam, but Maris continues to have control of the map for now. The question is, how much value can Comrade Doge get out of this blade into a grab and Deadeye on the other side?
It's going to be so difficult. Comrade Doge needs to, at the very least, wait for that grab to maybe be able to find something here, though. 2 picks have already happened. Comrade Doge staring at death's door themselves, finally able to walk through it by the efforts of a Destroyer. And that is going to be destroying any opportunity here as Maris were looking towards getting those forwards. Well, they did get it. The last second, GG Dax is going to get into that finish line. That might actually be huge here for Maris.
It very much could be. First of all, the bot is stuck there in butt scratch mode for a second, and this is going to allow Maris to get back to the middle much quicker than they would have been able to otherwise. It means you're going to be able to contest this bot before it crosses the middle, most likely. No, they are going to let the middle cross, so they don't have the forward spawns anymore, but still, it lets them get set up very well for this blade from Doge.
Oh, it's a Graviton Surge in with a Molten Core. Not quite able to get the destruction that they were looking for, but you did get Caesar Salad out of that ultimate combo. Army West Point is still going to try and fight it out. Another nano boost onto Rock. This Zarya. This is very scary. Comrade Doge so low on their health. He's not going to be able to use that blade. Stade Mold is able to take out this cyborg ninja. And now Army West Point finally able to right the wrongs. Should be able to get the lead.
Yeah, especially with the Bone getting staggered out there and only a couple more meters to go. This will be at the very least forward spawns here, but as the bot goes in the butt scratch mode, there is a point where where Maris can get back in with the recontest with all 5 ults.
5 volts, that's exactly what they needed. Same Mold may be able to solve things out here with the Deadeye, but the way that Maris is skating around them, it's not going to get anything out of that. TJ is just using the sound barrier, but look at this, a heist from beneath them. What is Maris doing? The sides have been flip dividing.
Oh my god. They just take the bot and run away with it, even though, which means they don't even have to use any of their ultimates. Rom King with the Kitsune Rush Caesar Salad just used the beat, and they just need the 100th of a meter to take the lead, and that's exactly what happens, and now they can unload.
A mistake that Maris is going to capitalize on in spades, and now all by themselves. GG Dax doesn't even need to take on Stade Mold, because guess what? Bone has done it again on the Sojourn. Doesn't need that tank, doesn't need anybody else. It's still gonna fight this out here, but at the very least, Stade Mold is gonna catch Wom King trying to regroup with the rest of the team. However, during this intermission, Maris has gained so much for what feels like so little dividing.
It was a beautiful play that has given them as much reward as possible. Crossing that triple-digit threshold is going to put so much pressure on the Army West Point, especially as the clock is starting to drain here. We're down to about 2 minutes left. Rock's grabs have been very good so far, but you might want to hold on to it for a minute until you get a couple more ultimates online here. The good thing here is that Maris used just about everything in that fight, so Army West Point with ults, Maris does not.
And looking to find it, Sage Mold needing to get out of there, was looking very close to going out into the spawn room again, but now we're just seeing Maris delaying it here. We're gonna have the Graviton Surge be popped. Rom King needing to use Protection Suzu, but it's just not gonna be enough to keep them through that Graviton. And now the rest of the picks are starting to come in. The Nano Boost expended onto Rock. Enough of that percentage, good enough to get them that damage. And now trying to correct the mistakes of what happened.
They are going to get more push here, more value. It's going to take another fight win, though, for Army West Point in order to challenge for that lead, and it has to happen now with only 80 seconds left on the clock. TJ with a huge potential beat here that might be able to counter an upcoming over Maris, but both sides lose a player early. It's 4v4, and things are going to deteriorate very quick.
It could potentially deteriorate even more so for Maris. Not having GG Dax is very difficult for them to find any life. And now we're Army West Point looked at the door of defeat. No, they closed it right in his face and is now poised to try and take the lead.
Yeah, 1-0, and the lead has been taken back from Army West Point. The beautiful play from Maris has been nullified, but the Kitsune Rush is there to try and take it back.
Doesn't seem like the Kitsune Rush is quite getting what they were looking for. And the last second effort from Caesar Salad to keep their tank alive with that beat is going to go unabated. A Deadeye from Stain Mold. The death has come indeed. But even so, still, Comrade Doge, they're going to be able to try and fight this out with the blade, but the meters is still going in favor of Army West Point.
It's a 1v1.
It's one alone. Shiz by themselves.
But just Shiz standing there by themselves got another 15 or so meters. So now we're gonna head into overtime, and Maris have to win something like 3 fights in a row in order to send us into a map 5. Army West Point just need to take them off of the bot for a moment. And all they have, oh my god, that's a huge ante. No kills off of it, but nicely done from Destroyer. The Nano there, the Molten Core there. Can Army West Point finish the job?
So much here that Army West Point, they have the keys. They just need to put it into the lock and seal the deal here for themselves. Now the Rampage be used in with the anti-nade, though. That might just be good enough here for Maris, especially with Comrade Doge. Again, this Genji finding it, doing it exactly what needs to be done. Maris, the foot in the door.
Oh my gosh, Shiz taken out mid-Molten Core. Might have been just what Maris needed there. There's still going to be another fight, though. Army West Point in desperation mode now. They used both of their ultimates in that last fight, and they're not even close to anything. Wrong King, 85% of the way to the Kitsune Rush that could send us into a map 5.
Potentially, but Caesar's Salad has been launched. A boat up in the air. Rips the head right off of Stain Mold, looking for any more opportunities, any more targets. And now the Kitsune Rush has come in. Maris, they're doing it. They're finding the pick. They're finding the kills. Army West Point skating around the bot as best they can. They just need to get them out of here. But no, Maris is still finding it out with every single last breath in their lungs. The ground surge from Rock has to be used, has to be expended. But a bone, if they're alive, if they're still looking for it, they're still gonna get the big.
They've lost people.
They need, but they're still losing. Army West Point is not out of this just yet, and Maris has fallen. Army West Point has done it. But dividing, what a final fight that was. What a final map that was.
And you know what my brain goes back to immediately is about 2 minutes ago when we saw Shiz standing on the point by themselves, getting a free 10 meters. That 10 meters was the difference between a 3-1 for Army and us talking about a map 5. It's all about the objectives here in Overwatch, and man, what great awareness from Shiz, not backing up, realizing that they were by themselves, just saying, hey, we're going to get as much as possible out of this, and it ends up buying Army West Point just enough time for the Zarya of Rock to get the Grav online, to get a couple of picks, and then with the spawn advantage, Army West Point are able to finish off the Stragglers and take a very exciting 3-1 victory.
Oh, dividing. What a final match. I'm still coming down from that high. That was so entertaining. It felt like peak Overwatch right there. And a big congratulations to Army West Point. Still, though, for Maris in their favor, right? We had those question marks, but I think those question marks have been answered, right? This is a scary team. Marist is. They just need to get a little bit more of that synergy going, and they have the mechanical skill there, but it feels like the teamwork off just a little bit, just enough that Army West Point is able to capitalize on that and able to take the win here 3-1. Now, we are going to go to a small break, try and get things set up for an interview. So we'll be right back.
For a touchdown. 15 seconds just about left in this first period. Before we head to overtime, shot on goal. Ooh. The demo comes through, and that is a 1-goal lead. They have had a hat trick on the Trot Orbital. Quebec, and I mean, you know, you don't expect to think about that, but you know what? Why not Florida Southern? Why not a Georgia College of Southern? Why not that?
Well, yeah, and that's the off the other side. They were not having that many shots. A lot of them were just kind of off the post. They were almost repositioning shots, right? Trying to bounce back. But this is what happens, Soj. This is why FSC are may not just try and play defense, just keep it out of the hands of GCSU.
You know what, Daniel? I'm starting to see them fight for these mega boosts as well. They're trying to stop the starve. But Soj with number 4 may have just put this.
Turning it on, getting into their comfort zone, and I'm loving it. Now, straight up midfield, and no real challenges, trying to go for it. Zipper said, hey, yo, and that's going to be the demo. Soj gets another on the board.
Even now that all the juices are flowing here for FSC, this might be the turnaround point here early in the season that gives us the FSC that we know can be in Zipper. Putting another one on the board, that's 2 now on the trot for Zipper.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Peach Belt Conference Rocket League. I am your last-minute substitute, possibly joined by Monkey Man. Monkey Man, are you? Oh no.
Yeah. It's very favorably for Montevallo before it becomes a massive clear in the other direction. The Pacers, though they've not been able to find these follows and burning through all the reserves, setting themselves up in a great position. And Kuno with the cleanup. Look at
fast enough, and now UM is going to be 4-1 still up on the board. They lose ball control as it hurdles towards the goal of their own, and nobody can get there fast enough. Surgical precision from USCA to find that second goal.
It becomes counterplay after counterplay between these two squads. A much lower scoring affair, but we have a much lower set of seconds on the timer with just 90 to go. A free net again. You can't commit defensive blunders like that as a third will go up for the Falcons.
Because it is just this consistent play of almost enough. What a great example. Almost enough, but it feels like they're just pulling back at the wrong moments. They're pulling in just a little bit too slow, and it causes critical blunders like that. They go no score on the board, unfortunately, and I think they are going to go silently into the rest of tonight with a 3-0 loss against them. UM comes out strong, and Montevallo has a victory at hand.
It's going to be ZDAG consistently getting back to center stage and immediately punish. They've won that stage control, but if you're getting punished every single time, is it really worth it? Goes back to Mithra just to eat the up air, and that is Ninja Nick. Going in already, they have a percentage lead again. Soy, is Ninja Nick gonna run away with this first crew battle? No, that is a surprise up smash out of nowhere. Ninja Nick getting a lift. Yet these trades are not going in their way. Goes for the fully charged up smash, and Lord Cat II has one in return, and then my guy has one in return to that. And
from Little Mac, and nearly a call out on that down air as well. My guy's reading the plays very well right now. Hits him up, goes for the up B, and that's gonna do it. Long Island close out the first set of the year. Side B to the ledge. Now getting back towards center stage. KO Punch online. Holds the neutral B, and oh my guy, 3 stock to open up set number 2.
Back air, it's not good enough to do it yet. Top Dog holding on, not giving up, but the down air doesn't do it at 160%. An opportunity right here, but saved by the platform. Top Dog does not live there. DS Mario Main is able to hang on to their stock. Again, they are a unrelenting drill, just burrowing into the stage, burrowing into any space Mono tries to claim for themselves. Up air, is it gonna be the up B? It's gonna be the finisher right there. 0 to death right there for DS Mario Main.
Nair, oh, they tried to catch the roll in. Grab landed. Another dash attack. Will not connect. The shield is strong, and the jump is called out. DS Mario Main dunks it in, and Long Island will take the...
Still looking for it. A little bit of damage being dealt. Will be able to deal with that raise early. Skunky Gamer finds entry onto site. The rest of the team considering the push onto B at this point.
Oh, and if Gunky gets this kill, that is going to be tough to retake. Position gained, and shots connected. Despite the low HP, One Collapser hearing this Killjoy coming. This is going to be a tough one. In fact, it's over.
C-Site is all for the taking here. Multiple members behind here. It's a big swing coming through from Gunky Gamer. OT Freeze is good for 1 with the operator up above. Oh my goodness, manages to land a no-scope there, but Hound Solo Burger pretty good with the rifle as well. Lung Collapse are pretty good with the rifle on the opposite side. OT Freeze will pick another one up. Actually, clutches it all out as
for the job there. Wheaton's not going to check.
Uh-oh.
How long does Lung Collapser wait? That long is the answer! Turns on a dime! And another, the spike getting planted by Mia, but she's all alone! Oh, no! Yeah, now Han Solo Burger gonna have to do some craziness. Trying to isolate duels, gonna hit the first and even gets away. Seekers can go out, that's gonna make things a little tougher. Shots continuing to go through, and Han Solo Burger, he's isolated another one! 1v4, absolutely possible. The guiding light gets the confirmation, and Wheaton shooting left and right will have the read, but Han Solo Burger is the...
Doc gets 3 of them in mail, and now so many angles to cover, but yet it doesn't seem to be the right time for Buffalo State and Tiffin. Han Solo Burger just cleans it up. There you go. Wrap it up, Tiffin. Take the series 2-0.
instead. That's nice to see. So even though we haven't seen North Georgia really be able to march forward with a lot of convincing attacks, at least the back line up until now has been secure. Can't get the read on the bounce, and that's finally our first goal. 10 seconds to go for Kennesaw trying to close this one out.
Yeah, still with the pressure here from Kennesaw. Now only our second demo. This one from downtown, and that's going to be an own goal here at 3 seconds. We spoke a little too soon here, Danger Talk. Slavip left side, little tap, not really taking away possession. Now definitely does. This player going up the double tap. Hugh Dog and North Georgia come from behind victory with the Puma symbol on the side.
As we've seen many time with new rosters in the beginning of the semester, this might be the first time these players are really playing together at all. So this really set the tone for how you guys all click together. Kwong trying to bury one here on the near post, and he does just that. Better. Be able to pad those stats. Kwong throwing it right back in. That should be open, but it's just wide instead.
Almost gets the nose down onto it. A couple members fighting, twisting, and now an open net the other way going for North Georgia. Nobody's almost hitting payload. Now is Joel. A little soft hit right there. Kind of just puts it in the breadbasket of a couple North Georgia players. That's really, really bad as this one comes all the way down from the other side.
Being able to con the defense out of a clear that gets you the ultimate goal, as we will be able to enter into that 1-1. Maybe not for long as that clear gets away. Hugh Dog into Archie, and well worked from North Georgia. Safe to the side. They're feeling like heroes. They're keeping it up. Slavip into the ceiling. Sharky doesn't get it. Joel with a deflection. It's Quonk at 0. Hugh Dog in the way. Another save. North Georgia will very much so take that ball hitting the grass. Overtime somehow.
Now coming up for the serve. Hugh Dog down. That's a bouncer just a little bit too high though as Sharky tries to continue the theme. Down bottom. And Archie does it here for North Georgia. Set up all day long. Now shoots in right now, but Quonk is going to win that 50. He's screaming off to the side. Bounce off some wall and now in his middle until North Georgia gets another shot at it.
Let's be open for Hugh Dog, and they will make no mistake. Kwong, I gotta say, a great effort, but sometimes you need something even greater. You're seeing a player get thrown all the way across, like Joel's really just flailing, and you're thinking, okay, well, I probably have enough time to go to the corner, and then instead, it is in your net, something they're becoming quite familiar with as a feeling. There's a number.
Demo does come through, those Hugh Dog taking down a Kennesaw State member. Back to the middle, screaming up to this one, now to the left side. All three members right here. This is a very bottled up defense, and Sharky takes a bite.
No one even there because, frankly, I think Kennesaw thought that bounce was going to be going a different direction. Same maybe with the defense here for UNG. They can't read it. Slavip does. It's 1-1. They were actually on the far side waiting for an awkward touch and then dove in and actually used their flip angle to throw it right back in the middle. Of course, I'm talking about them. And meanwhile, it's just Swiss cheese for Kennesaw. They're getting sliced through by the blade that is the UNG attack. How about Joel trying to show them how it's done? It's a little bit too soft, a little bit of a double commit even. Quonk near post, that's a miss. Slavip, that's a miss. Joel, that's a miss. Everybody swinging at it. Get these people some corrective lenses because it's Sharky on the far side with the clear vision from the teammate. My goodness, my heart.
And there's really no need for them to. There's only one way that they can come in. This is perfect execution, and with all 5 members left up standing, they only have one opportunity to get in there. Raga, 3 kills on the board, make that 4! Raga on fire already in a flawless first round here. Raga. As much as I respect this B wall being put here, the problem becomes is that they have the weapons to really mess things up. Oh, Ossify not clearing the corners, up in the air.
No way!
Sunflower still walks away before finally being taken down with 2 kills.
So we promised you an interview, and of course we keep our interviews up, or our promises at the very least here on the desk. And now we have from Army West Point, the DPS extraordinaire themselves, Stayed Mold. Now, first of all, Stayed Mold, big congratulations to you and your team. It was a great game of Overwatch.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was absolutely an awesome game. I loved every second of it. A big credit to Maris. Like, it was a hard-fought battle, but obviously I'm just glad Army West Point came out on top. But it was a very close game, I'd say.
Yeah, well, I think that can absolutely be said, especially when you look at Coliseum. And I got one question that's just been at the forefront of my mind the entire time because it was the moment I think that won you the game, that won your team the game. And that was Shiz getting that final few meterage that they needed. What was the call there? Was it just like Shiz on their own? It was a solo play in their idea, or was a team calling it out? Stay on that bot, stay on that bot, stay on that bot.
That I would say is exactly how it went down. So at the end there, one of our players called, "Hey, no more ults," and as he said that, two of us popped our ults, which was not exactly how we wanted it to go. But we realized that it happened to do enough that it was, I believe, a Lucio versus Torb on the Shiz, sorry, Shiz on the Torb, and it was just enough to let him keep on the point and keep it moving to get that victory.
Yeah, it was an insane moment there, but I want to take a moment and zoom out for a bit and talk about just your Zarya comps. It's something that I noticed that had a lot of success for you guys. It frustrated Marist over and over again. It's not a comp that a ton of people are playing right now. So what made you guys land on the Zarya-based compositions? Why do you think it works so well for you?
So Zarya is actually for Rock is definitely one of, if not his best tank. He's definitely super comfortable on that. And one of the strengths I would say we have is that a lot of people may think of this as a weakness, but we play around his ability to play super aggressively, right? So a lot of the time he'll push in pretty far, and our healers are kind of aware of that, and they're able to back him up really well. And I think that aggressiveness often plays in our favor, especially with Zarya, with the survivability with those double bubbles.
It's one of my favorite Overwatch quotes, actually, is that one person inting is a throw, but 5 people inting is a strategy. So, hey, I totally respect it. Throughout the game today, you guys swapped your support lineup around a lot between Destroyer, TJ, and Mulan. Can you go into a little bit more detail into how you guys decided which supports would be playing for each map?
Absolutely. So one of the big things we plan who we have on each map in advance, but the TJ is a very good Lucio. Like he's been working on his Lucio a lot. He's currently a junior here, so and he's been playing with us since his freshman year, and he's gotten way better. So we know that if we want a hard brawl comp or we need to speed into the enemy, we put TJ in there. Mulan and Destroyer both have really similar character pools. Mulan's actually a freshman, but he's our highest ranked player. So we realize that a lot of the characters he's playing cracked out of his mind, which definitely benefits us as well. So on maps like Circuit, where we don't necessarily, if you probably noticed, we didn't really play those hard brawl comps as much. It was a little more poke, a little more dive.
Right.
So we decided to stick with Mulan and Destroy on that one. But usually we have TJ in there for that Lucio.
Right on, right on. And State Mode, I want to focus on you a little bit. And I don't know, production, if we can bring up your stat lines throughout this series, but you played a lot of heroes during this evening, and it was an insane amount that we saw from you and your flexibility in the way that you're able to play each and every single one of these heroes. But what was the decision making process there as well when you were deciding, okay, Soldier's not going to be worth it here. Let me switch over to Cassidy. Or Cassidy's not going to work out here. Let me switch off to XYZ. And what went on there, right? Because your Cassidy, especially at the very end on Coliseum, was uh, quite literally some of the game saving moments for Army West Point.
Yeah, so with that, my role kind of as one of the DPS players is to be that hyper flex character, and that can kind of work in my favor and work against me, especially for that ult charge. There are a lot of times where if I'm playing a character and I feel like it's more beneficial to swap off, if I do it, I'm just losing ult for my team. But the mentality behind that was because I'm usually pretty flexible. I can play those projectile characters. I can play those hit scan characters, but not necessarily as well as I call them the specialists in each of those, right? So we have Shiz on the junk who plays his projectile characters very well. And then we have CM Spoon on those hit scan characters. So when we have a map that has some really big sight lines and everything, we'll put him in with myself. But because of my big pool, it's much easier for us to switch around. And it's just funny because my coach was talking to us afterwards, and with the Cassidy and the Soldier and everything, sometimes I'm popping off, sometimes I'm not. And I just happen to lock in today, and it worked out.
Well, it worked out in a very big way, obviously, with the scoreline for Army West Point looking pretty good up there. I do have to say, though, Stade Mold, you're that important piece of the puzzle that every team needs, right? Someone that has that flexibility. So when the problems arise, you're there to be able to help solve them out. And so, once again, a big congratulations to you and your team. Very excited to see how Army West Point is going to be doing in the future. But before we let you go, any shout outs that you want to give?
Definitely. So the first people I want to shout out obviously is my team. They played out of their minds today. It was such a great time, like communicating super well. Obviously, I wouldn't be here without my team. But on top of that, we have two other teams. I don't exactly know what their record was today, but I know last week we went 9-0, so everyone's really locking it in. Big thanks to everyone on my team. Then my coach, Carthage, he hopped in a little bit later there. Before he showed up, we were like, I would say a plat level team, and then I'd say a year later, now we're playing at Masters, even GM level. So huge shout out to Carthage. Mr. Castro, he and all the staff on the Army West Point Esports Club, big shout out to them. Just for setting everything up and helping us when we need it. And then lastly, we do have a lot of sponsors. Obviously, this wasn't a sponsored stream, but the rigs we played on today, that was Paradox Customs who got us those. We had USAA who gives us a lot of our funding. So big shout out to them as well.
Absolutely. Help keeping these amazing esports programs in place so the next generation like yourself are able to play and able to show off their skills in spectacular fashion like you did tonight. So once again, a big thank you, Stade Mold, for joining us here on the broadcast. And once again, looking forward to seeing what your team does in the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you again.
All right, and that's going to be it for us here on the broadcast tonight. Before we let everyone go, though, Dividing, I want some final thoughts.
Yeah, this was a really great game, especially for so early in the ECAC regular season. And while Army West Point, the challenges are going to be even stronger in Week 3 going against other 2-0 teams, they have shown the ability to rise to that challenge. Meanwhile, for Maris, they fall to 1-1 overall, but for their first actual game time of the season, they were very impressive, and I think there's a lot of 1-1 teams out there in ECAC that are looking at that team like, oh, if we match up against them, we might be in trouble. So both of these teams are very strong. Both of these teams I'm expecting to see in the postseason hunt at the end of it all.
Exactly. And big congratulations to everyone. And once again, a big thank you to our production staff behind the scenes for their amazing work in making this production look as clean and as professional as it does. Now, ECAC Week 2 Overwatch may be done, but tomorrow is still going to be some exciting games happening, including ECC Valorant at 7 p.m. EST. Your casters for that are going to be Seymour and Zobi. But from us here tonight, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see all of you on the next broadcast.
instead. That's nice to see. So even though we haven't seen North Georgia really be able to march forward with a lot of convincing attacks, at least the backline up until now has been secure. Can't get the read on the bounce, and that's finally our first goal. 10 seconds to go for Kennesaw trying to close this one out.
Yeah, still with the pressure here from Kennesaw. Now only our second demo. This one from downtown, and that's going to be an own goal here at 3 seconds. We spoke a little too soon here, Danger Talk. Slavip left side, little tap.